It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. You're overdue. I just felt it's something that makes you look good, and that's cool, and you know, I'm all for it, but I think you need to tone this down because now it's getting obtrusive to the show. But they can go in the afternoon for a U.S.
Hold
show,
on a second.
as they did there, and they can do 180,000 buys for an afternoon show, which they've also done for All In. So
okay,
we know they can do. We know they can do big.
Can I continue this before you cut me off? We know one thing.
Yes.
We know it might have done well because it went on first.
I'm not saying it would.
Here's my thing, Dave.
But here's okay. Wait. Okay, here's the thing. Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I mean, it didn't mean anything to me. It was just a match.
That's the problem, Dave. It should mean something to you.
Give him a quick squash win just to show that, like, you know, he's not a loser.
What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Phil S. Marks, and this is another edition of Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week. Hashtag DMDMW. Ladies and gentlemen, hit like, hit subscribe, hit retweet, join patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times for bonus episodes of Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week and tons more. You guys can super chat in if you support the show, or you can gift a membership or become a membership or check out Patreon. Like I said, come say hello in chat if you're watching this live. If you're listening to the replay, hype the video or rate this thing 5 stars like a Meltzer rated match in the Tokyo Dome. You know what I'm saying? On this week's episode here, Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment, episode 35, Bryan Alvarez has another WWE meltdown. He also gets into it with your boy Dave Meltzer. Okay, they get into it a little bit over AEW. Wrestling Observer sabotages Sheamus, who's expressed interest as of today in going to AEW, even if it's only for a short period of time. Dave Meltzer and Wrestling Observer and those troglodytes working there, of course, attempt to sabotage that for Sheamus. There is Unhinged AEW Glazing going on in this episode and more. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, get your flutes in the chat because it is time for everybody's favorite show, and it is called Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week.
Here's the guy that has papers everywhere in this room.
So to kick things off, we're going to start with Dave Meltzer's star ratings for AEW Forbidden Door 2026. Now, you already knew these matches were going to be rated absurdly high. I believe that Dave Meltzer rates matches high for even WWE. I think sometimes he goes a little too high and low a lot of the times. But Young Bucks defeating Mystico and Mascara Dorada, Titan and Shingo Takagi got 4.75 stars. So like a throwaway 6-person tag match, 3 teams of 2. Somehow one of the greatest matches that's ever happened in Dave's mind. And even if you go, well, it's just Dave's opinion. Again, no, it's not. He condescends you. He claims they're objective. He thinks his readers are smarter than everyone else and that they're all objective with their yearly awards and their star ratings, blah, blah, blah. We've covered this to death. That's what the show is. A-logging fucking Dave. But let's give it to Dave and say it is. Let's say he would admit it was his opinion. In his opinion, that's one of the greatest matches of all time. Whoa, what a shit taste in wrestling. Kenny Omega beating Zack Sabre Jr., 4.75. Moxley defeating Bandito, 4.75. Like, come on. Shota Umino versus Pac, a 4.25. Like, he does not believe that. He does not believe that. Umino Pac on the high end, you go, that's a 3-star match. 2 is like, 1 is the complete shits, okay? 2 would be like perfectly passable, especially when it's just a random match that is being thrown on the show. 3 is like, hell yeah, you did your job. That's good shit. 4 is like, wow, that was fucking something. 5 is like, cinema. You know that meme? Cinema, right? That's what 5 is supposed to be like. Yo, that was the best shit I've ever seen in my entire life. So 4.25 for Umino Pack. Okay. Tekla beating Starlight Kid 4. Copeland, Cage, Clark, and Finley got a 3.5. Mercedes Monea defeating Maya World got no rating given to it. Okay. And Dave Meltzer didn't rate it at all because he doesn't like Monet. He thinks minorities are stupid, and I'm not making this up. This is just shit that he says. Okay.
The only reason I know about this is because I know about it.
And he's like, "Oh, those people. I mean, you have all those people." And he mistook Quavo with a bottle of Cuervo, and then when Quavo came out later in the show, Dave thought that was another person.
He had Cuervo with him the whole time too.
And he gets offended. Oh, when you're pretending to be cool and there's all those people, Brian, all over Raw. It's just like, what kind of show is this, Brian? So this is just shit he said. So 2 black girls have a fucking match. And I'm not one of the, you guys know me. I'm not one of the virtue signaling type. 2 black ladies have a match. He can't rate it because Monet felts him. And because Maya World, he had to wait. This is why too. Dave just makes shit up and he's not even confident in his own bullshit. Like, this is how you know it's not really what the rating is or how he even feels. It's about him having to gauge, well, what did the audience say? Because as I pointed out, Maya World's good. She's good for where she's at. She's green as shit though. And Tone thrusted her into these opportunities. Good. He tried something new. I'm not even going to knock that. I think Maya World lived up to her moment there, but it wasn't like, this is her making night where it's like Maya World is her now. It wasn't like her coming out party like it could have been. And so Dave was unconfident in his bullshit. He didn't know how to, what's the word I'm looking for? He didn't know how to, I don't want to just say like fucking lie about his feeling towards the match. He just didn't want to like do anything too egregious or anything too low. But he knows he doesn't really enjoy he doesn't enjoy Mercedes Moné. He doesn't enjoy women's wrestling. And he was too fucking tired. He was already in the building seeing 3 of the greatest matches of all time, 4 of the greatest matches of all time in a row. Boom, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And then he watches that match and he couldn't give a fuck. And he's like, well, it's different on TV than in the building, Brian. Meanwhile, his only star rating criteria he's ever given was to Chris Van Vliet. He said it's about how the people are moved, how the crowd's moved. That's the only definitive criteria he's ever given, then doubled down on. Okay, so if it's based on how the crowd's moved, which I did a whole watch-along Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment bonus episode at patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes exclusive to Patreon, where I watched that whole interview with Chris Van Vliet, and I break this down. But now all of a sudden, Dave's rating is incumbent upon him rewatching it on TV all of a sudden. It's fucking insane, and he's a goddamn liar.
Baby, learn Meltzer Inferno.
And so he just didn't want to rate that match, is what that is. So yeah, and then whatever, the Steel Cage 5, Osprey Strickland 5.5. Right? So he just lost his goddamn mind. And people are like, have you gone mad? And people were saying that Monet owned him. I mean, she didn't really even do, trust me, your boy Phil A-Logs Dave, and like, she didn't even say anything that crazy. She was just like waiting or whatever, but she makes fun of him. So it was nothing to where it's like, oh, we got to put this on the show, right? She didn't like go off on him or anything, but she has made fun of Dave a few times. So, speaking of Forbidden Door, right? Dave talked about the pay-per-view buys, and the Observer had an update on the pay-per-view buys, which I don't think we've even gotten an update on the pay-per-view buys. And not only does Dave lie about those, but in a bit, we're going to talk about how he got caught lying about Nielsen changing their system to cope over the bad AEW ratings, okay? In a little bit. But I wrote, so he doesn't have an estimate, but no world title match hurt it. That's what he wrote in this article. I read it, okay? So he didn't have an estimate, but no world title match being on Forbidden Door hurt the buy somehow. And I tweeted out, Dave, it's not the 1800s. If Roman Reigns didn't have a world title match, but was in War Games, it wouldn't affect a goddamn thing. You either draw and there's a good build, or you don't and there isn't. That's really what it boils down to. Like now, so the sickos who buy every pay-per-view, and Dave tries to break it down like they rotate. It's actually times 4, whatever I say the buys are, and they take turns buying each pay-per-view. That's literally the shit he tried to peddle. We forget, like I do this show every week, or sometimes I take a week off. Dave's been so unhinged. The last couple, like I don't think I've taken a week off in a while. And there's so much that it piles on top of each other. And like, we have to remember, we have to remind ourselves sometimes of some of the bullshit that's been so crazy that we just let go because he says some more crazy shit. And like, if he was working everybody, it would be funny, but it's not. He isn't. He's trying to sabotage Sheamus's career and shit. We're going to talk about it, allegedly. In my opinion, we're going to talk about that a little bit later too. And he's done this for years. Okay? And I've had wrestlers thank me. Nah, he has fucked with people for years. Thank you for doing this, for what you do. So, again, it's just like, bro, no world title match. So is MJF a draw or not? Like, what are you saying? You know, because he's not defending the title, but he's in a 12-man clusterfuck that you gave 5 stars to, one of the greatest matches of all time. So what are we even talking about here? And so again, Dave Meltzer says here, star ratings have nothing to do with my taste. Sorry, I've hated matches I've given big ratings to, including this week. And this is his cope. He said that to Chris Van Vliet as well. And then he says, like, well, the star rating of, you know, it keeps going up. It's like a Richter scale. And the star rating, like 4-star matches, if you look at those again, and he's like, really, 5 stars don't matter. You need to look at 4 stars. Because I've given out more of those. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, when you're in kindergarten, you learn about, like, like, hey, you get 5 gold stars, you get a fucking candy at the end of the week because it means you're being a good boy or a good girl and you're fucking listening to your teacher and cleaning up after yourself and shit. Like, everybody understands how ranking systems work and shit. Dave Meltzer doesn't. He wants to try and work people. He's smarter than everyone, and you're a dumbass if you don't listen to this incoherent bullshit. The guy can't even simply explain his 5-star system.
Learn, baby, learn. Meltzer Inferno.
So while discussing 5 stars, and again, this is what Dave does. They have nothing to do with my taste. You're a fucking liar. So then how is the Bucks and all of that? So it's not just your taste to watch the Bucks do that same match over and over when the majority of people don't like wrestling like that all the time, and it's all the Bucks do. 0 build, just a thrown together match, and that has nothing to do with your taste. That means, so objectively, we all should go, yeah, that's the best match.
Or, you know,
ever.
the young superstar, you know, babyface, you know, the former heel thing. So
it's just fucking bullshit. And that's just further proof, because people will come in my comments and go, why do you care what he thinks his thing is? Because he is trying to tell people, and people are paying him money for him to tell them that what he thinks about these star ratings is fucking accurate and true, and thou shalt not question it. So speaking of star ratings, here was his ratings on Great American Bash, okay? Tony D'Angelo versus Naraku, 3.5 stars. I don't know, man. I like Evil, but 3.5, even, like, I'm going, that's too high. Zarya versus Tatum Paxley. I'm the biggest Tatum Paxley mark. She put out a tweet, too, where she's like, soccer, I barely know her. And I'm like, oh, she's over here now. Oh, good. I love Tatum Paxi. I like Zarya, but 4.25. Like, come on, Dave. That's super high. Shiloh Hill versus Tristan Angels 3. I mean, okay. Ren Sinclair versus Ariana Grace 1.75. Like, bro. Shaquan Sugars versus Dion Lennox 2.5. Like, I think that's a reasonable rating there. Miles Bourne defeats Tavion Heights 3.25. Again, too high. Dave just likes wrestling moves. The more you do and the longer you go just doing moves, he's going to rate you higher unless you're two black chicks. Then he's not. Then he ain't going to give you shit. Kendall Gray versus Lola Vice 4.5 stars because he just loves Kendall, but he couldn't rate anything on this show higher than what he rated on Forbidden Door. Now, let me just give a conspiracy theory to you guys because I believe I'm accurate about this. So, and nobody's talking about this. So remember, if you guys were there, PWT live show goes down every Wednesday and Saturday and sometimes Sunday. Like I did a 10-hour mega stream that day and I watched TNA, I watched NXT, and I watched AEW back to back to back. Now, when Monet and Maya World went out there, I'm pretty sure Gray or was Tekla out there? I can't remember. All I'm saying is this. And I'm throwing this out there. This is an allegedly Phil S. Marks. I'm just saying this, okay? This is my opinion. Dave was watching the Kendall Gray match on his phone and didn't pay attention to the Monet match. And if the Tekla match was going on during the Monet match, Dave fell asleep and he was watching the fucking Kendall Gray match back on his phone. I guarantee you he went to a bathroom stall and he was all lubed up. And I guarantee you that's what he was doing. Because how does he just not have a rating? He was in the building. You know what I'm saying? And that's my conspiracy theory. If people can go back and track it, the women's matches went on at the same time. So, like, when Kendall Gray's match was going on, I believe that's when, like, Tekla was coming out or Monet was, like, doing her entrance or whatever the fuck. I think NXT started a little quicker with that. So if they went head to head, that's why he didn't have a rating for Monet's match. Okay? Just throwing that out there, just so you guys know. And speaking of Dave's star rating, so this guy, Ushi Garoshi, 89, posted wrestlers with the most 5-star matches. So just take a look at this. Like, wrestlers with 4 5-star. So the lowest is 4 on this chart, okay? So I'm sure there's some who have 3 or 2 or 1, or maybe not. Maybe anybody he's given a 5-star to has gotten up to 4 or more. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm not sure why the chart's based this way, but maybe that's true. Ricochet's on here. He has 4 5-star matches. I think Mystico, Samoa Joe, Punk. Who else? Vikingo, which isn't going to get another fucking 5-star ever. He's not going to get another 5-star match ever. Steamboat, MJF, Adam Cole. Is that Claudio, dude? Cody Rhodes, Pac, Johnny Gargano. Then you move up the list. Or they have 5, actually. Okay, so MJF has more 5-star rating classics than Joe and Punk, who are tied with Fingershay. Do you know what I'm saying? And then above that, Darby Allin's above that. Gunther, who I doubt will ever get another 5-star match. Penta's up there. Mike Bailey's up there. And then 7 5-star matches. You have fucking Swerve. Right? 8, pardon me. Hangman's on that list. 10 5-star matches. FTR up there tied with Bandito. 11 5-star matches. You have Naito and Danielson. For 12, you have Moxley's on there, Flair, and Zack Sabre Jr. And Dave says this isn't based on his taste. Just how's that possible that you rate Flair and Sabre Jr. even on the same fucking level at all if it's not just based on your taste, dude? You know, this is the proof right here. You just look at this shit and you see how he's an idiot. So you move up this list here. Tanahashi's here. Takagi's here. The Bucks have fucking 17. So does Takeshita. And then you have Okada's got 34. Omega's got 31 5-star matches. And then all the way at the top, just destroying everyone. And this is how you know Dave is a fucktard, because Ospreay's destroyed. He's booked the worst. He's in the worst storyline. He's in a storyline where Moxley was trying to invade and take over the company and was like murdering people and throwing them in trunks and shit. And then he failed. And then now, for no reason, he's like, Ospreay, we're trying to protect this company, man. And it's like, what? Literally zero explanation. Ospreay's a bum. He's the worst booked guy. He's not over. He's not a draw in the UK. So how is it based on anything? Roman Reigns isn't even on here on this list. How is it based on anything? Like, look at the lack of WWE guys just in general on this shit. So it's obviously just based on your taste, Dave, because if you factored in anything else, like the magnitude of the event, actual selling, like none of these guys sell for the most part, right? Like Fletcher's up here with 14 5-star matches. Fletcher. You know, he's like a fucking in his rookie year, dude. And it just hurts these guys' careers. Honestly, it does. And it will going forward. And Will Ospreay, he's light years above everyone stars-wise. Meanwhile, he rests on his laurels. He can't sell for shit. He has bad facials. He's not a draw. He wasn't drawing for New Japan when people dipped out. He left New Japan, shit on New Japan, took all of Tone's money, has not been a draw. He's been the worst booked. His body's destroyed, smashed up. Neck is fucking ruined. Okay? Neck is fucking ruined. Well, I'm still doing flips, bruv. Okay. Look at what happened to Dynamite Kid. Like, you'll just drop one day and fucking collapse, and your body will just give out, and you'll be in a fucking wheelchair. No one wants that for you. Sorry, I don't want that for you, you know? But Dave doesn't care. And then Dave's like, oh, he could work a style like any of the top guys in WWE, and it would still be the best. Well, no, because Ospreay doesn't draw, and he doesn't sell, and he doesn't have good facials compared to anyone in WWE, and he doesn't know how to sell on offense, and he doesn't know, like, his promos are pretty cringe overall. Like, they're impassioned and shit, but there's no focus. They lack focus. We don't really know much about him other than, like, he just seems like a douchebag you wouldn't want to fucking hang out with, right? And he just says dumbass shit, and he's kind of cringy. And he just does flips and shit, and he rests on his laurels. He comes back out of shape. He looks like he's out of shape, comes back from his neck fusion, or whatever the fuck, and then he just wrestles the same style. And if Dave really believed, oh, if he did the slowed down style, he'd do it better than anyone, then where's Roman on this list? Then why isn't Roman Reigns on this list? If he's not the best at what? He's more physical. Like, he has way tougher brawls with people on the outside and shit than Ospreay. Like, he's way more realistic with his strikes and shit like that, but also he's like taking part in these moments and drawing these fucking huge houses and had crazy matches with Punk and shit. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Punk and Rhodes, he had a fucking trilogy of WrestleManias with Rhodes. Like, come on, man. I don't know. I don't know what Dave is thinking here. It's clearly just his taste, right? And clearly his taste is like, some of these people are no longer with us, and a bunch of their bodies are all fucked up. Like, Tanahashi's body shot. Misa was dead. Omega is fucking on his last run as far as like, I wanted to capture the title one more time because he's fucking banged up. He's like Orton. He's got to get in like good shape, and he doesn't wrestle all the time. Omega doesn't. He's a legit part-timer. He doesn't even wrestle once a month, guys. And people are crying about CM Punk, who's been full-time since he's been back in WWE. He's full-time. He's full fucking time. He's been this whole time. Oh, he went to film a movie. Okay. He took some time off for summer. Okay. Otherwise, he's been full time. He's doing all the house shows and shit. And it's what I said. Punk's whole thing was planned out from Jump Street. Okay. Jesus Christ. Does his agent need to get in my fucking chat and straighten things out again, guys, or what? Like, it is like, you fucking trust me when I say these goddamn things. And you got Will Ospreay up here. I mean, okay, he's going to main event Wembley. He's not even drawing in the UK. So hopefully this works. And Tone just has this boner for like doing matches that went down outside of AEW, but just redoing them in AEW and trying to put a stamp on them in AEW. And I discovered that Omega and Ospreay actually had, this will be their fourth match. So I thought they had two before all time. One in Nuge, one at Forbidden Door, which at the time was AEW/Nuge. They went 1-1. And then now this is purely AEW. And then Ospreay's obviously going to get the win. But they actually wrestled once in PWG as well, I guess. And I don't know who won that one, but they met once in PWG. So Tony's just like an uber mark. This is like years. He was at that show probably. where they had that match, and ever since then, you know, and Dave is just like, Ospreay's light years ahead of everyone. He's a flip merchant with a neck fusion who rests on his laurels, isn't really good at the psychology and everything of wrestling, but is just incredible in his athleticism and ability to like do physical things like repetitively. You know, his matches are just like move, kick out, move, power up, move, kick out, power up, move, kick out, reverse finish, kick out, finish, kick out, finish. 1, 2, 3. You know, like that's the formula. Okay. You know, and 12-year-old gymnasts do fucking 13 flips in a row, and you know, and you score them a 10. If the, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's impressive, bro, but is that you're missing like the main thing of why he's not a draw? And that's the key thing that's missing with Dave's star ratings. Because just like the wrestling that Dave prefers, there's no psychology to his star ratings either. Okay. So we move along here and we talk about, I'm not a shark, I'm a man for two, says Salvatore Sincere's Brown Star has more credibility.
You what?
No doubt. Thank you, Tenta. So let's run another flute. Let's get into Dave talking about AEW, okay? So Dave, as we covered a moment ago, said that the pay-per-view buys for Forbidden Door, which I don't think he's come with a number yet because he doesn't know how to lie. Like, he sees what the Google trends are. It's like 61% lower than they were last year and all of this shit. And Dave is sitting there trying to say like 145. He's saying all in will do like 185,000 buys, which is what he tried to say Double or Nothing did. So why would an all in do more than what Double or Nothing did? You know what I'm saying? Like, he can't keep his shit straight. And just like he didn't have the star ratings for this, he didn't come out with pay-per-view buys. He just said that they're expected to be strong. And then we discussed previously how Dave was in attendance at Forbidden Door. So obviously he's going to gas this show up. But I pointed out how he didn't give Maya World or Monet a star rating for their match, because I don't think he was watching it, or he didn't give a fuck, or he was burnt out and tired, whatever it may be. But he's going to try and bullshit the pay-per-view numbers. Now, he never came out with pay-per-view numbers. His ratings, he's about to get felted for like a month straight, because we're going to get into this in a minute. Dave said that the fucking Nielsen ratings changed again in April to sweep for AEW, but they didn't. Nobody corroborated that, but now the Nielsen ratings are getting changed again, and it's being corroborated. So Dave just made up Nielsen changing their fucking ratings, and then we already covered how he tried to set up a meeting with Nielsen, and I think that was on last week's show, and he got denied. So he's just making shit up, and he knows it's all about to blow up in his face, and he couldn't give the Maya World Monet match a star rating, and he can't give pay-per-view numbers for this, because as soon as he gives some bullshit numbers, people are going to go, it trended less than 61% last year, and last year you said they did 125,000 buys, I think, for Forbidden Door. Someone can fact check me on that. I'm pretty sure that's what he said they did last year, around there. It was 125 to 145, something like that. So he wants to say it's more than 150, closer to the 180 range, but he knows he can't because it trended online less than 61% or whatever.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
And Dave will track Google Trends when it comes to UFC or when it comes to TNA, but he won't do it when it comes to AEW. So now here's him talking about AEW, just unhinged, unbridled sweeping and glaze for AEW. I just wanted to preface all of that shit with that, because we need to recap it, guys. It's so important. Like I said, we do so many of these. He says so much dumb shit. We can't let any of this slide, okay?
As a live show, it was pretty much fantastic. I didn't think it was the best pay-per-view of all time, which some people were like, oh, second, third best. But it was one of the best.
Some people were like second, third best. Who's some people? Like some people on Twitter thought it was like second or third best of all time, or on Cage Match. Who cares? Why would that even be something you bring up?
Live shows I've ever seen. And
best live show I've been to is still that Chicago one.
Yeah. This wasn't far behind. I mean, and
it didn't have the surprises that Chicago one had.
I would agree.
But I mean, you guys just like surprises. Oh, they're just there for entrances, and they're stupid, dumb, new, low IQ minorities, Bryan. That's what he's literally said about WWE fans. But him and GG, Garrett Gonzalez, they just want fucking lights out, surprises, bunch of flips, 5 stars, Bryan. That's what they want. But yet WWE fans are low IQ because people are over as fuck. Clearly, just by how the crowds react differently to the wrestlers. Shit,
match
man.
after match. I mean, the quality of the
JJ's yelling, JJ Alexander, the Pavlovian response. Exactly.
matches, I think, was as high as it gets this year in AEW, because there's just so much depth. I mean, it's like, I thought, there wasn't, the match quality was just so high. So yeah, say that the
physicality, the quality of the physicality was very high.
I mean, it was interesting because to me,
psychology completely out the window, front to back. Even the way the card was formatted with the EVPs going first.
I got the impression is that the quality of the first three matches just killed, the other matches afterwards up until the last two, because, and not that they didn't get reaction, but they had to work to get reaction. I mean, Pac and Shota Umino worked.
Right. So, Dave, what's more over? Someone who has to work their ass off to get the crowd behind them because you don't really know much about them, but they're going to go do craziness. Or when fucking Hogan and Rock just walk up to each other and people are spilling over the fucking barricade. I just watched WWE's run NWO's WWE run, part 3 of the NWO story on the Vault. I just threw that on the other day. And like, dude, the Rock Hogan match, just the reaction is unfucking believable. Even for like Hall Austin, that people said was the shits, and then people in hindsight go, well, that match wasn't what it was supposed. The crowd was ape shit for that match. The Rock Hogan shit is like, you just, that's like once in a lifetime type shit. And you don't even have to touch to do anything. You don't even have to work. That's how fucking good you are. You don't even have to do anything to win the crowd over. Like, Dave doesn't get it, you know? That's like GTA shit. They don't got to do a goddamn thing. They just go GTA 6. Everyone's going to buy it. Everyone's going to buy it. It doesn't matter. Oh, physical copies. I'll start boycotting after I buy GTA 6 because everyone's going to buy GTA 6. There's kids who were not even an itch in their dad's crotch who are fucking, what, preteens now since the last GTA came out? And even they're like, GTA. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's decades. It's been like that. WWE's GTA 6, bro. This is some fucking this is some shit where they make the lead female character fucking ugly and everybody's like, what is this shit? No. I don't know what to compare it to, but this is some bullshit. You know what I mean? We got to work extra hard. Okay, yeah, that's some indie mindset shit. So how is that? Like, why is everybody just against like getting people over, like actually so that they're over, you know? And even the most over guys like MJF and Omega and shit, they have to go out there and go nutty and go crazy to really win people over. Meanwhile, you have a guy like Samoa Joe, who he's still doing, like, he doesn't do anything. Like, yeah, the people around him might be doing crazy shit, but he's not doing anything he wasn't doing in WWE or anywhere else. And it works, and he's over as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking Joe. Everybody reacts to him. He's a fucking guy you look at and you go, yeah, he's legit as fuck. And we know him, you know? He beat Roman Reigns in his debut on Raw. Like, that's over. There's like, you shouldn't have to, if it's the greatest show of all time and everybody had to work hard to get over and you had to pull out an NES and strangle a guy with it to get over, like, that means it wasn't 5 stars. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be a balance. Like, so none of these people came out and was just like, boom, they're so fucking over. They don't even got to touch and people are going insane. You don't have that. So I don't know, man.
So hard. They did get reaction at the end. Tekla and, all of them, Mercedes, all of them, they had to work hard and they had to work long. I mean, one of the things about those matches being so long is that, it was taking them 10 minutes to get the crowd back into it because the prior match was so great. And I mean, even Moxley and Bandito had that issue, I don't think Omega and Zach did because the people were so into Omega, but that first match was just like, it was like, how do you follow? Like, as soon as it's over, it's like, okay, how are they going to follow this one? And it
by
wasn't
being over. That's like saying, how is fucking Stone Cold and Scott Hall going to follow the cruiserweight match after they went and did all the flips and shit? And Tajiri hits the poison mist. I don't even think that happened on 18, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what WrestleMania was it where there was like the 10-man cruiserweight gauntlet where it was like elimination style 10-man? It might have been WrestleMania 20. And Kidman did like the shooting star to the outside of the ring on everybody. They were just hitting every fucking, that's like going, oh man, how's Goldberg gonna follow that? Because he's fucking over. That's how. Maybe Goldberg's a bad example, but you get what I'm saying. Austin was in that shit. He's over, right? You get what I'm saying. How's the handicap match Evolution versus the Rock and Sock gonna, because it's the Rock and the fucking Sock. You know what I mean? How do you follow that? By not doing the same thing, which is just doing a bunch of fucking moves. Format the show better. Get people over. Jesus fucking Christ, man. It's like we're so ass backwards. It's like that shouldn't even need to be explained. That should be the primary objective of any wrestling company spending this kind of money to put this shit on television and paper.
Easy. They did, but it wasn't easy.
They set the bar so high. So it's like, okay, you have Austin, Scott Hall, WrestleMania 18, Austin, Scott Hall. Crowd's going apeshit. Wasn't the best match. Schmozzy. Then you have Rock Hogan after that. Crowd is, then you have Triple H and Jericho. They go out there with Stephanie McMahon, I think, in Jericho's corner. And then they main event the shit. Was the crowd as into that as they were the Hogan Rock? No. But are those guys over? And everybody's like, well, we need to see what happens with the undisputed title. Yes. You know what I mean? Are they going to go out there and do all the fucking, they're just going to do, they were both over. So again, imagine just like you could do less matches, get some guys who are fucking really over, and then really have people talking about it. For instance, one of the greatest moments in AEW history, if you want to take it to that level, in AEW pay-per-view, is when Danielson and Adam Cole both showed up on the same thing, back-to-back debuts. And why? Well, because they're both over as fuck because of their time in WWE. And Danielson's had a fucking whole WrestleMania shaped around him, so he's just over any company he goes to. He could have went to TNA, the roof would have fucking blown up. You know what I mean? It would have blown the roof off the bitch. Adam Cole's over as fuck. They're both super over. Look how Tone capitalized on that, for instance. You know, it's like CM Punk. They chanted his name for a decade. It didn't matter what wrestling company he returned to or quote unquote or went to or whatever. That was the least important fucking thing. The most important thing was him being fucking over. He could have showed up on SmackDown. He could have showed up on fucking NXT. Could have showed up in TNA. People would go fucking insane. And it's going to be the most memorable, highest rated shit anybody does because they're over. So again, Dave's just like, oh man, they followed it somehow. Motherfucker, he just wants to see people car crash and destroy their bodies and shit. So Dave also had this to say, or pardon me, this is what Bryan, so Tryin' Bryan points out how not this Dynamite, but the Dynamite before with Mark Briscoe, where MJF defended the title. So recently, Time Cop, he dropped the title. MJF did to Kenny Omega at the beach break or whatever. And so the week before, MJF defended against Mark Briscoe. And Bryan had this to say about the episode of Dynamite, just in general, and the sports entertainment aspect of it. And he called it the most WWE edition of Dynamite he's ever seen. And it's so funny because he goes, it's great. And even Dave, I pointed this out. He goes, oh, there's multiple title challengers for the champion. Okay, so that's the most basic thing you could do. WWE always has that happening. So you like the backstage interaction and people explaining their vocation and what their objective is and what they're trying to do and accomplish and what it means. So you like the sports entertainment element too. Bryan admits it here. Dave won't admit that shit. But they go, it was very WWE Dynamite and it was great. Of course it was, because that's what you do on a weekly TV show. And then go all out on the wrestling. These matches at Forbidden Door would mean way more, and people would not have to work so hard to win the fans over after the last match if they were fucking over for character and things like that. Okay, so let's take a listen to them now, just admitting what I've been saying this whole time is fucking true.
A lot of people really don't like WWE. Many of those anti-WWE fans they're AEW fans. I thought that this Dynamite was the most WWE edition of Dynamite I've ever seen.
In many ways.
But you know what? It was the best things about WWE. And I thought the show was great.
Did you?
I think they need to do a lot more shows like this. Because last week, what did they do last week? They did 8 bangers in a 2-hour show, which of course went long, but it was like this maniac wanted to do 8 matches. This is a go-home show. The go-home show is where you're supposed to be doing like...
talked about, he's like, well, if people can't afford the pay-per-view, we want you to see like the banger matches just on Dynamite. Then, so you just said that your fucking pay-per-views aren't worth shit. Why would I pay to go to that shit then? Tone literally said that the other day in an interview. I want people to experience this shit like every week. And if you can't afford to go to a pay-per-view, Meanwhile, we looked it up. The ticket prices are like a $10 difference between going to and then also the pay-per-view ticket prices. You know, if you just wait till the last second and walk up, you'll get in for $20 and probably be able to sit on the floor. And most of these Dynamites, they just slashed the all-in ticket prices by 50%. The cheapest ticket for Redemption in Montreal, they've only moved 5,000 tickets, is like $53. At Dynamite, tickets are like $43 or whatever. So what's the difference? You're literally just telling us your pay-per-views aren't worth shit. And it's the same thing as if you just go to a Dynamite. It's just so ass fucking backwards. And Dave can't admit it. He's like, oh, you actually like this Dynamite that focused on storytelling and stuff and developing characters and moving stories along and shit? Huh, go figure.
This is why this is taking place. This is why that's taking place. This guy's like, nope, I'm doing 8 bangers, 2 hours, and an overrun. And he just did like match. So this week it was totally different. There was an angle at the beginning that played out throughout the entire show. They almost never do that. There was a reason that you had to stay tuned throughout the entire show.
Oh, go figure. Imagine that. Imagine that. And Bryan has to explain this to Dave. Like Dave's a fucking toddler.
Or, the young superstar, babyface, the former heel thing. So
Bryan.
More so than, hey, there's going to be a banger in the last 15.
And then Dave's laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Because he knows it's true. And even Dave has been putting this over. There's so many title challengers, and that's really helped the show. Yeah, what's helped the show? Them showing us, because it's a show, so you got to show us what your narrative is in all of these things. What you stand for, what you won't stand for, who you care about, who you don't care about. Why do you care about these things? Why do you not like this person? Jesus fucking Christ, man. It's a TV show. The pay-per-views would mean so much more. Dave doesn't value that shit at all. He just goes, well, there's lots of challengers, and so all the banger matches are why it's so good.
Minutes.
We'll talk about some other things they did to try to get you to stick around. But
this is Vinny. Oh, maybe this Dave's not even there. So this is what I mean. Brian's a cuck. He has to sit there and fucking say this to Vinny because he's too afraid to say this to fucking Dave.
This just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
Yeah, you're right. That was more effective than other things.
What
they
a
did.
cock,
like the
man.
point-
He has to say this to fucking Vin. He can't even say it to Dave. Come on.
This was like an episode. This felt like an episodic television show with great wrestling on it. WWE, they do episodic television shows, but like the wrestling's
Yeah, if it was Dave, I should have known. If it was Dave, he would have interrupted him.
whatever. Bad finish here, bad finish there, short match here. Sometimes you'll get a couple of good matches and everything like that, but the matches are secondary and the storytelling is primary. A great wrestling show, the storytelling in the wrestling should be 50-50.
Yeah, so like TNA, but you hate on that. Or like NXT, but you hate on that. Well, it's bad. Are you sure? Dave's giving it 5 stars. Dave says that Kendall Gray clears the whole fucking that's your daddy, Bry. So again, there's no pleasing. Bry is just a cuck because these are his friends. So he's got to be like, oh, it should be the perfect mix like this Dynamite was. Yeah, most Raws feel like a good blend of wrestling and backstage shit, but it's mostly backstage and drama because they're going to do all the wrestling at the PLE. So you want TNA or MLW or NXT, but you make fun of those shows. You watch them and you just complain about every inch of them. Those should be your favorite fucking shows then, Bry.
Bryan.
You have some great matches, and you also have some good storytelling, and you have a storyline arc throughout the show.
He's just explaining wrestling. Imagine your audience is so fucking redacted. You have to explain. Everybody listening should be like, yeah, we know, dumbass. Fucking review some shit. We know this is why we watch wrestling. We already understand this.
Not only builds throughout the show, but then builds to the next week.
Imagine explaining this is day one. if you're a wrestling fan, this like goes without saying. He has to sit here and explain it like it's an epiphany. Bry's epiphanies, dude.
I thought this show was great.
So fucking funny. And he's just a cuck, though. He's explaining that, hoping Dave listens to what he's saying, because he can't say it to Daddy Dave's face. You know, and when he tries to, they get in little arguments, like we're about to hear them get into an argument over AEW in just a second. And actually, well, maybe we could get into their little fight right now. Yeah. So let's get into it. Beach break went down. And although the main event was good until they schmozzed it up a little too much, I think it was a good moment. I think Punk winning the title was more epic. Dave and Bry completely stooged and took pride in stooging the fuck out of the result of this match. When it got moved from Redemption to this show, Dave and Bry thought they were Sly Bry, and they like told everyone Kenny was going to win, hoping what, it would pop a rating or something. I just have no idea why they would spoil all of this. They're a fucking net negative for AEW. But Bry did have a base take on Beach Break, and he could have said this about the show that he liked as well. We'll play a bass flute. Bry could have said this about the show that he was putting over too, like they had Vanilla Swirl or whatever the fuck that team is called against Ospreay and Moxley, and it's like, you don't need that match either. Like, you don't need these fucking matches. Nobody cares about Ospreay and Moxley teaming up. This is the Moxley story so far. He tried to invade AEW, failed, murdered a bunch of people, right? And then now he wants to protect AEW. That's what he said on the show. We have to protect AEW. It's like Gotham. I'm like Batman. He's cool. Shooby-doo wah wah. And it's like, what the fuck? It's the dumbest shit ever. It's garbage, and we don't need to see. And shout out the Workhorsemen. Like, nothing against them, but they still work here. Do you even go here? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you guys even go here? The Workhorsemen, weren't they both fucking released? Or wasn't one of them released or something? Like, what the fuck? So they show up, and then they go 25 minutes with the guy who's supposed to be fucking main eventing All In, and Moxley, who held your title hostage for a year, tanked your ratings, and can't even draw 1,500 people in his hometown. And these are supposed to be your two top guys, and these two fucking guys, the Workhorsemen, take them to the limit. And Dave doesn't see a problem with this. Even Bry's like, well, hold on a second. And everybody watching at home sitting there going, what the hell? Now, Beach Break overall wasn't really a good show. The aesthetic was fire. The main event was fire. That's about it. And Kevin Knight stinks as a fucking heel. Let's get into this little bitch fit they have.
We got Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley versus the Workhorsemen. We did not need a 15-minute Workhorseman match in the middle of the show.
It was 8 minutes.
It's like the show was already 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It was 8 minutes. Yeah, dude. That's how much time. Dude, if let's say a regular match goes like 8 to 15 minutes, this match should be a squash. This should be a fucking 3-minute. They just tool these guys up and then fucking, and it dragged on. It felt like it went way longer than that. At least I was watching the show, and that's how I felt. I was also doing a live show, well, not really caring, but it just felt like it was on for a while. And then Mox was doing his like, I'm cool guy shit. And this team just sucks. And it's just Moxley sucking the life out of the guy who's supposed to main event Wembley. And they can't draw, and it's a shit storyline, and everybody has fucking belts in every picture. And Dave is like, it was only 8 minutes. Well, it didn't need to be on the show. How about you divvy up those 8 minutes and tell more stories to get people more invested? And don't do things like have Mick Foley come out to interview Fletcher, and then Mick Foley bails out when Kevin Knight comes out. Mick Foley's nowhere to be found, and he just suns Kyle Fletcher like he ain't shit. And this old fat man fucking punks out Fletcher, who you're giving 50 fucking 5-star matches to. Like, it's supposed to be believable. Like, it's a garbage show, Dave.
What did we need Will Ospreay selling for the Workhorseman for
What do you
in the
need?
middle of this show?
He's main eventing All In. And he's not only main eventing All In, but Ospreay's main eventing before we even know who the world champ is going to be. So that's like tippity top billing. Top billing, Bryan. He was fucking the marquee headlining the show before we even knew who was going to have the world title to face him. He's selling for J.D. Drake. Isn't that his name? Like, come on, bro.
Because maybe
we didn't need it.
Maybe you don't need anything. You don't need.
No,
you don't need anything. You don't need anything. You're lucky that Tone gives you this slop. Eat up the slop, piggies.
He had Cuervo with him the whole time too.
And this is what people say about WWE. Oh, you just eat up any slop they give you? No, dude. No. It's like Stranger Things was a good show. The last season was the shits, especially knowing it was the last season. And then you look at all the fucking plot holes and loose ends and things that they didn't necessarily tie up. But it's not just consuming the slop. Like, it's the number one fucking show. WWE, they try, like, okay, if you want to argue Danhausen's slop, maybe. Is it well thought out? Obviously. It's working. It's getting over. I think it's funny. I think there's a place for humor and shit like that. If you want to talk about the top storylines, Zayn and Rhodes and Punk and what Punk and Drew have delivered, what Roman consistently delivers on, even the drama between Brock and Oba, it's just two hosses. Like, all of that shit is good shit. And there's effort, and they're thinking things through, and they're keeping fans on their toes. And it's not, Roman's not just doing, he's not main eventing SummerSlam and doing a fucking 8-minute selling for fucking Los Garzas for 4 minutes before getting his shit in. These things do matter. But Dave goes, you don't need anything. When it comes to AEW, match, Tone last minute. Here's just 8 fucking matches. And fuck you if you're going to the pay-per-view, because there's going to be 19 more matches on that show. Just eat it up, piggies. It's all good. It's all 5 stars. It's all 4-star. Just eat up the Bucks in a 3-way, whatever, because just eat it up. Eat up the slop. That's what you're doing in AEW. You just go, look, they're going to do moves. And you're going to just clap like seals for the moves after 10 minutes. Because they're going to do some shit, risk their fucking lives. When you guys don't even give a fuck about them. Like, tomorrow, you're not going to tune into Dynamite and you're not going to be invested in these fucking characters. You know what I'm saying? And Dave just goes, it doesn't matter. You'll take it and you'll love it, Bryan. Fuck, man.
We did. We needed the world title match. We needed the international title match. And we needed this women's gauntlet.
We didn't need the gauntlet match.
We didn't need the gauntlet. So now fuck the whole women. And this is how Dave views women's wrestling. And some people view women's wrestling this way, like they're not fans of it. That's fine. That's fine. But again, when Tone's invested so much in a bunch of these women, he brings in a Monet, he makes new titles, he's got tournaments surrounding. He goes, we didn't even need this gauntlet match so that the guy who's main eventing, Dave would rather see the guy main eventing All In, their WrestleMania show at Wembley, that can't even sell 30,000 fucking tickets. He would rather see him sell for whoever this guy is. I don't even know his name. Who the fuck is that guy? As Connor would say. Who the fuck is that? And Dave says, in Dave's mind, that whole women's gauntlet where Willow returns, and yes, they schmozzed that up too much too. They should have just had Willow fucking win. That whole thing that involved like 12 fucking women in the division. Fuck all that. Ospreay needs to sell longer, Bryan, for J.D. Drake and this guy that nobody knows. Whoa. He's fucked, man. Dave is unhinged.
We didn't need the gauntlet match.
That sets up the women's title match.
Dave is unhinged. He's unhinged.
I mean, it's like whatever. It's like
women.
It's like whatever. So with AEW, it's like whatever. Who gives a fuck what they do on their show, Bri? Why care? Who cares if they care? Why put any effort in? Who cares? It's like whatever. He's main eventing anyways, and Tone's paying him anyways. Okay, but like they're doing less than 30K. They're doing 50% off ticket sales because they're not moving any. And Osprey's been announced for like a month now. And everybody before that, everybody knew. And Dave just stooges shit. This is what Dave thinks about you and your booking and your product, Tone. It's whatever to him. He doesn't care. Just give me my flips. And this is who you call, this is who you set up private meetings with after Forbidden Door and give access to. Tone deserves what he gets, and he deserves Dave Meltzer.
Best guys, Tony Khan.
This gauntlet was way more important than the Workhorseman match. And I like
50% off tickets, Brian.
poor people don't like AEW.
the guys. I do think they're good workers.
Well, guess what? Guess what?
Who cares if you're good workers? Everyone's a good worker. Everyone can wrestle, bro. Throw a rock, you hit someone who can wrestle in 2026. It's like the least important thing.
Okay, there's 4 ratings draws in the company that are the major ratings draws right now. Okay, and that's MJF, it's Kenny Omega.
Okay, they're not major at all. If this is major, they're losing to NXT. NXT just did almost 700,000. And Dave's going, there's 4 major ratings draws. So why would you take your major ratings draw, who can't even draw, who's from the UK and can't even draw 30K tickets in the UK? And why would you have him sell for these 2 guys? Why would you do that? Dave sees no value. If Hulk Hogan was selling for Doink the Clown for fucking 5 minutes before hitting his shit and getting the win, he has no problem with that. He doesn't see how that would hurt anything. He's the dumbest fuck ever. He's a shilling shiller who shills. And he says that it's MJF, Fax is a draw, Omega. Okay. If he doesn't say Joe, he's a fucking clown. Moxley's not on that list. We verified Moxley is tanked their fucking ratings and their YouTube numbers. Osprey is not a draw. Now Dave can cope and lie and seethe and go, he's a draw. No, he's not. He's not. In no way, shape, or form. He barely draws anywhere they go. Wembley's struggling, and they finally have, bruv, I'm from there, bruv. They finally have bruv, and he's main eventing. Can't draw. 50% off tickets, and even before the 50% off, it was still already lower. And even with the 50% off, it's still lower than any of the other all-ins have drawn. Other than the Texas one, which again, I mean, we knew that wasn't going to work either. Because most of their fucking talent are Americans, and they don't draw. So when he says major draw, so losing to Shaquan Sugars and Swipe Right or whatever in the fucking ratings on NXT, is their major draw, Dave?
It's Kenny Omega. It's John Moxley.
That's a lie, dude. Moxley tanked. He's a major draw. They went to a 1,700 seater. He couldn't even do 1,500 people. They did 1,200 and some in his hometown. That's your major draw? Burn the company down. Fucking drop a nuke on it. It's finished then, if that's your major draw.
And it's Will
fucking TNA. You have Karen Jarrett talking about this shit on Dark Side of the Ring in 2 fucking years.
Osprey. So perhaps when he's trying to put the show together, especially tonight, because obviously,
so Mason Rook and fucking Naraku, who Tone passed over, is drawing more viewership than the major draws in AEW. Like, Dave, you're cooked.
One of the goals for tonight is that we do not have a World Cup game on, and we are going to try to get whatever the number is.
So this was his ratings match?
So this was exactly. So this was a match to get ratings, and let's say it was Osprey's out there selling for these guys, and it's an 8-minute match and not just a squash, and then him and Mox cut a promo and then go backstage or whatever. You know, the match should just be Mox taught him a new hold. Here's the new hold he did. He wins the match in like 3 minutes. They cut a promo. They fucking go backstage. Commercial break. But instead, Dave is trying to cope about, the ratings draw. There's no World Cup match, so we're going to try and do a big draw. So why would you want the most eyeballs seeing Osprey wrestling these dorks for fucking, and no offense to these guys, for 8 fucking minutes? When he's supposed to be your major, they're J-Brones compared to him, right? This is what Dave's saying. I'm sure they're fine gentlemen. But he just named Osprey and Mox as 2 of the top draws. These are 2 J-Brones. Nobody even knows their names. So what the fuck are we doing?
No,
and Dave's justifying it.
Yeah,
put him in there.
And look, he goes, no, but yeah. Brian goes, so this was their fucking ratings match. Dave goes, no, but yeah, but bro. Just pack it in, Dave. Like, he doesn't even have an excuse. He's confronted with logic. His brain breaks.
No, but
put him in there with the Rascals, or put him in there with some team that's actually been on television.
He could have put him on with them.
Yes, he could have.
He could have, but these were the guys. Maybe he felt that the Rascals just got beat. He didn't need to put him in there with the Rascals.
Whoa, what the fuck? Well, these guys just got off the fucking on television again for the first time in 4 fucking years, Dave. You cooked moron?
Dave is the devil. Oh.
Holy fuck, man. Well, the Rascals just lost. Okay, the Workhorsemen haven't been on TV in like 4 fucking years, I feel like, dude, in AEW. In like 3 years or something. Nobody even knows if these guys have ever won or lost a match. They don't know who they are. Fuck, man.
So he put him in with these guys. He put him in there with these guys. The match was good. Like, if the match
was good. If the match sucked, then it sucked. Bry's telling you it sucked. It doesn't matter if people do moves, Dave. It sucked because of this.
One thing. These guys were good. They had a good match. And
I mean, they hit for real and they, physically can do moves, Brian. So I don't see what the problem is. Okay, so then Roman should wrestle Akira Tozawa and sell for him on Raw. And you wouldn't complain about that, Dave? Okay.
Like I said, it's the 2 of the 4 biggest ratings draws in the company. So
not
you're
true.
Say like,
not true. Mox and Osprey are not, and there's verifiable proof of that.
Oh, why'd you put them on? And Will's going to main event Wembley Stadium. And
exactly. And Will's going to main event. So don't have him doing this match against 2 random J-Brones. Have him just cut a promo and get himself more over, if that's possible. Why would you do this? And he's going to be on Wembley. Okay, but that doesn't justify why you did this. In fact, it only hurts whatever point you think you're making. 2 of the biggest draws. Nope. We can verify that that's not true. And we've done it on this show.
4 biggest
ratings. And also, Wembley's doing the lowest shit. So if it was the biggest draw, Adam Cole's a bigger draw because his fucking Wembley show drew more than this shit.
Draws in the company. So you're going to say like, oh, why'd you put him on? And Will's going to main event Wembley Stadium. And Moxley's going to perhaps, be in obviously Moxley's going to be in a big match on every single show because he always is. So.
He's fucking lost it, man. Dave is absolutely unhinged.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
You want to give him a win, give him some exposure, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with it, Dave. But there is. And Bry pointed it out, and you're not addressing it, and everybody thinks there's something wrong with it, but you. And you're trying to explain how to book good when you've never booked anything. You can't even book the papers around your office into a fucking 3-ring binder, bro. You just throw them on the floor and shit. You don't care about anything.
It's not like it was.
You're a shark-brained monster, dead behind the eyes, zombie brain-rotted monster.
You know, I mean, Jake Doyle, and if Jake
Actually,
Doyle,
that would have been better.
no, it wouldn't.
It's a guy that's been on
No,
television.
it wouldn't, Dave. Didn't you give him a 5-star match or whatever? And exactly, he's been on television and he's crossed paths with these guys. No, it wouldn't have been better. Yeah, it would have been fucking better, buddy.
And it's actually like doing something right now.
No, I'm talking about winning, and it wouldn't. Jake Doyle's not as big a ratings draw. Tony was going for ratings.
He's
tonight.
not.
Oh my God, Dave. Oh my God. Oh my God, guys.
Retard alert! Retard alert, class!
Imagine having to deal with someone this bad faith and redacted. Dave, they're not talking about Doyle. Is Dave such a tard that he thinks Bryan was trying to say, do the workhorsemen versus the Gallus? Motherfucker, he means dude like Davis and Doyle, or like Cage and Doyle against Ospreay and Moxley. And then at least if they go to the limit, there's like a bit of a reason, like the Callis family's at least established. But Dave's going, he's not as big of a rating draw. Dave's such a fucking tardy McTard.
The only reason I know about this is because I know about it.
That he's full-blown derp maxing and fucking unable to realize that trying Bryan saying no, like have the Davis and Doyle or whoever, the Callis family, fight Ospreay and Moxley. Like Dave is either in terribly bad faith, I don't know how to phrase that, or he's acting in the worst bad faith imaginable, or he is the dumbest dumb fuck who ever dumb fucked. You know what I mean?
Jake Doyle's not as big a ratings draw. Tony was going for ratings.
He's
tonight.
not as big a ratings draw as the workhorsemen.
No,
I'm talking about the opponents. They could have had a better
Dave,
team to face.
So stupid,
especially if you're looking to draw ratings. No one turned this on and went, you know what? Workhorseman might win. I'm going to stick around for this one.
Nobody turned the match off with Will Ospreay in it right now.
Yes, they do. Nobody will turn a match off with Ospreay in it right now. That's what Dave just said. That if Ospreay's in a match, nobody would turn it off right now. Guess what, Dave? They're turning the show off. And they're the least invested they've been in a while. And NXT is beating them in the ratings. And he can't draw in the UK. And you're doing him a disservice by saying shit like this. Just like you do Tone a disservice when you go, oh, they're making money hand over fist. The money's rolling in, Bryan, $3.6 million a week. And then you got to go, well, they're pinching pennies and don't want Sheamus coming in. And buddy, your narratives get deconstructed and you just fuck yourself and make AEW look stupid, and you do a disservice to these wrestlers.
Or, John Moxley probably not either. Those are not
people aren't turning off a Moxley match, bro. Moxley specifically when people turn the show off.
Be off on.
No, that's specifically, Dave, when people turn the TV show off is when fucking Moxley comes on. Okay? And so here's Dave Meltzer. That was unhinged, bro. That was crazy. So here's Dave Meltzer saying, do you expect Omega Ospreay to be a bigger ticket mover than MJF Ospreay? And it's like, here's the thing. I thought Ospreay was the biggest draw. So why would it matter? If they're all major draws, then why would it matter who he's facing? Oh, what's going to be the bigger ticket mover? Well, none of them, because Ospreay was announced and they haven't moved shit, and everybody assumed it was going to be MJF Ospreay, and then you swerved and went with fucking Kenny, even though Dave and them stooged it. So what's going to be the fucking difference? It's going to move tickets like when they wrestled at Forbidden Door, because neither of them are any more over. In fact, Ospreay's probably less over than he was when he first came into AEW. So how many tickets did that Forbidden Door move? Right? Like they'll be lucky if they do 30K with Tone fluffing it. So why is this? It shouldn't matter. I thought Osprey was a major draw and they're all going to be on the match anyways, and it's can't miss TV that you can't turn off. But no, now Dave's going, who's going to come in and save the day, MJF or Omega?
It was a world title change. Kenny Omega beat MJF in the main event. One Winged Angel. They announced that as of now, it is Kenny versus Will for the title at Wembley. And, you know.
It has to be that match now, though.
I of course it is. I mean.
It has to be now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has to be. So you fucked everyone, Dave.
Once they did this match, there's.
Yeah. Unless somebody gets hurt, which, always can happen.
Dave, you stink so bad. Unless someone gets hurt.
It would be unfortunate. They're at 28,100 right now, which is
after the 50% off. And Dave won't add this context that when it opened the first week, they did like 24,000. So they tried to move tickets, they couldn't move any. Obviously, they're handing them out already. They're fluffing it up already. Maybe not so much, but last minute, you were going to hear tons of stories. Guys, at PWT, every All-In, every single one, we have had folks send me stubs, people who were there saying, look, I was there when fucking Tyson Fury fought there, whatever the fuck, and there was nowhere near 81,000 people at All-In. We've had people send in stories, go Phil, and then email me a long story going, look, dude, they handed out, like they walked in and gave every person that where I work like 6 tickets each and shit. Like they're going to pad this thing so hard. And Dave is going to cope now and try and put over 28,100. So this means with the 50% off sale going on for like a week now, maybe longer. And then also like however long they've been selling tickets after that first week where they announced they were on sale. The tickets have only jumped up by 4,000 tickets sold. Holy man. And is that distributed too? Like that might be the distributed number, not sold, which means they're probably like there's some handouts that have had to have happened to. So this is like the worst attended one. Like it's beating the All in Texas, but like All in Texas, according to Thurston, that was fluffed up too. And that was anywhere from 18,000 to like what 20,000 was the turnstile count. There was like 18,000 tickets sold or people who went through the turnstile or whatever the fuck. But they said they did like what 28,000 or something like that. So this Wembley, this one just has to beat that one. But Tone's going to fluff this up by like 15,000 tickets. I'm telling you, because anything under 40 is just such a fucking L. Big L, rest in peace. That's like the biggest L that they could ever take. There's no point in even going to fucking Wembley at this rate, So let's look at Dave and the concern in his face. 28,000, which is he's going to try and put it over, but he's going to start bumble fucking.
Right now, which is, it's a number. I mean,
it's a number. Ha 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 ha.
But and
what?
It's a number. Ha 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 ha. And then he goes, they're going to do over 35. Yeah, and that's an L. And because Tone will obviously fluff it at least 10K. So Dave just safely goes, yeah, I mean, they'll do over 35. That's garbage. There's no point. Well, it's not garbage. Like, okay, it's cool that a wrestling company can do 30,000 with seat fillers and shit, but what's the point of going to Wembley and why isn't Osprey a draw? And why are you trying to lie and gaslight everybody and tell them that this guy's a mega Uber draw when Mason Rook and Evil are fucking outdrawing them TV ratings wise? And if you factor in the international Netflix views,
I mean, they'll end up over 35.
And if they don't, chef's kiss.
And
well, actually, they sold a decent amount of tickets over the last couple of days.
Yeah, well, that's because
at 50% off.
I think people have figured out
they cut prices 50%.
Well, that's another reason.
Yeah.
See, even Bry was gonna go, I think they figured out that this match is good, and even Dave's like, well, yeah, I mean, they cut the prices 50%. So that means, let's say you bought your ticket full price. I would be demanding a fucking refund or a VIP package or something. I'd be like, what the fuck? How do you just, what I paid, how is that just denigrated down to 50%, half the value of what it's worth? Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And then walk up, what is it going to be? It'll be handed out free tickets. Everyone knows that. And it'll be walk up, buy a ticket for $10 to get in the day of. Okay? And Tone's notorious for this, man. He did it for Sting's retirement, too. They were selling tickets for $1 at the last minute, getting people filed in for that shit.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, we'll find out more once people know it's going to be Kenny Omega, and we'll see if that match means more. Because obviously everybody was thinking it was MJF and Will when they sold these tickets. So if tickets continue at the same pace,
nobody thought that. Nobody thinks that. They just go, AEW All In. We're in the UK. UK has like the most sickos. Like, look at all the UK wrestling channels. They're all just the same fucking talking points, same narrative, same taste in wrestling. And they're just like, AEW, bruv. So, yeah, you're going to go there, do All In. You're going to move 20,000 to 25,000 tickets just based on that. So that is a positive, I guess, for AEW. But if any of who's on the show mattered, it would already be like rivaling another show that you guys have done there. Like Ospreay's from there. And it's going to go down in history that MJF and Adam Cole outdrew this motherfucker in London or whatever.
Obviously the challenger to Will Ospreay.
Is that Texas? I can't remember, but you guys know what I'm saying. Shit's humiliating.
Ospreay is less important than Will Ospreay himself going for the title. If ticket sales increase dramatically, then obviously people are into this match more.
Well, I think that in August, in mid-August, they'll increase dramatically. I think that they're gonna, they'll trickle in until between now and the middle of August, and then there'll be the big late push. So, I mean, they could get. I expect over 30.
So when WWE did 52,000 people or whatever the fuck, and they cut their prices to 25% off, their peak is done. It's dead. It's over, Bryan. It's over. And then they do the Wrestling Observer meetup, hangout, watch along party, which let's see if they do one for London. Bet they won't. Because there's not 100,000 surplus fucking wrestling fans even in the UK for this shit. Okay? It's just such coke.
I don't know about 40, but if they get 40, that's cool too.
And Dave and them won't go, oh, it's dying. It's not as hot. It's not peaked. Lowest attended All In London so far. Lowest pre-ticket sales. The company's hotter than ever. White hot, the biggest draws of all time in the company, making money hand over fist. A guy from the UK, 50% off tickets. No doom and gloom. No fucking, oh, they're dead. The peak is over.
I mean, it's so weird because there are going to be people who call it a failure, and there has never. I mean, I got to look this up, but I bet that there has never been a number 2 promotion in a market ever that, other than them in Wembley the last 2 times, and which would be the only times that has ever done 40,000 people.
I'll tell you one. It's called AEW years ago. You stupid.
He had Cuervo with him the whole time too.
It's called AEW 3 years ago, or was that when was the Texas one? Was that last year? Right? I don't even fucking know because these shows don't matter anymore, dude. And that's why it's a failure, Dave. It should be more than this. It's a failure because what the fuck is Ospreay doing? It's a failure because in year fucking 7, if it's as white hot as you're saying it is, and you have Ospreay and you failed to build him up and you can't do 40,000, just clear that easily. It's a fucking failure, dude. Okay?
Shut up, bitch!
WWE has done that, yes, but never when they were number 2. And AEW, I mean, WCW never did 40. I mean, paid. They papered the Goldberg Hogan.
So they papered Goldberg Hogan now. And now Dave, instead of goes, instead of going, well, it was 28,100 is what they're up to distributed. So not all of them are paid. But here now he wants to make a distinction. So with the 81,000 quote unquote that were at All In that weren't there, and with All In Texas, Dave wants to run with those numbers that aren't paid. And then it takes Brandon Thurston suing the fucking venue and getting the real numbers of what was paid, and it's below 20,000. And Dave doesn't want to make that distinction then. So when it comes to AEW, even when WCW did 40,000, they never really did 40,000, even though there was like 45,000 people there. They weren't all paid though. Okay, so there's not even 28,000 tickets sold. That's distributed, and they're not all paid, and the 81,000 wasn't all paid, and even if they do 35,000 or 40,000, so Dave just pones the narrative he's trying to create for AEW right here. Even if they do 35 or 40,000, we know that it's papered because that's Tone's MO. We know that it's not fully paid, but now you're trying to diminish WCW and go, even Hogan Goldberg didn't do 40,000 paid. Bro, they're not even doing 40,000 not paid. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they can't even do 40,000 not paid, Dave. If they do 35,000, Dave, not everybody paid. And they can't even do that. And you're just saying they can't even do that. But now you're trying to say, bring Goldberg and Hogan into this for some reason. Like, I got to ring the fucking bell. It's
retard alert. Retard alert, class.
It's like actually unhinged, man.
And got 41, but there's only like 35, 36 paid.
Okay, so if AEW does 35, how many were paid? How many are going to be paid, Dave? Under 30? So then what are you saying? It's even shittier? Like, that's all Dave's doing. And he's such a dumb fuck. He doesn't even realize that's how he's just owning AEW right now and making them look shittier. So he's so fucking stupid. While he's trying to put them over, he thinks he's like putting them over by saying this? You idiot.
It's paid. So if they beat 36 paid, they beat every WCW show in history. So it really shouldn't be considered a failure.
Oh my God, Dave, you've lost it.
I saw people claim the 80 was a failure, which is how deluded some people are.
No one said it was a failure. They said it wasn't 80. And even it was 81, Dave, or whatever. And you don't even say it's 81. You say it's 80 because you know it wasn't 81 or 82. And it shows how delusional they are. Dave, after saying the most delusional shit you've ever heard.
The only reason I know about this is because I know about it.
Holy
shit. It was a world title change.
Shit, man. He's mentally sick and ill in the fucking head. Okay? And so Raj Giri posts, Nielsen ratings are about to change again. Nielsen switched to Big Data Plus panel last September, which hurt wrestling ratings, and then updated their methodology in January, which helped wrestling cable ratings. Now listen to this. Dave gets exposed for lying about Nielsen changing the system. So all these ratings and cope he's been doing, why AEW is getting bad ratings, he just said, well, Nielsen fucking flipped it up on us. Again, nobody corroborated that. So all of Dave's rating coping is fucking lies. Right? And he said it changed at the end of April. Nobody corroborated that. Now Nielsen, also Dave tried to set up a meeting with Nielsen and they said no. And now Nielsen has announced or confirmed, this has been corroborated, that they are switching it up again. Coming up, the rating system. Okay?
There's the guy that has papers everywhere in his room.
So when wrestling ratings were dipping in April, Dave Meltzer reported that there was another change. No other credible media outlet reported that there was another change. And as Bischoff pointed out when I was on 83 Weeks in May, the April ratings drop was more likely due to the increased sports competition as opposed to a Nielsen change, which appears to be the case. Dave has felt it for the last couple fucking months of lying. April, May, June, few months of just lying about why their ratings, Nielsen changed again. Nope, you're caught lying, because now this shit is corroborated, and they are officially changing again, that we can actually go, this is, the rating system's changing, and we'll see how it affects shit. Now Nielsen will be rolling out co-viewing in September, which includes Nielsen subscribers wearing their smartwatch-type devices. It's supposed to be more accurate. When they did a test run of this method earlier this year, major sports events saw a 4.19% increase. So again, the sports are loving it. We'll see how it affects wrestling. And we'll see if these fucking sickos are about it. And if the ratings take a hit across the board, then okay, wrestling's taking a hit across the board. But Dave coping the last few months over the fucking ratings and doing these paragraph write-ups about Dynamite, and Nielsen changed again in April. There's no proof of that, and he couldn't get a meeting with them to even confirm that. He just made it up. It's fucking hilarious. And so this is courtesy of Alfred Cunningham here, who says Dave Meltzer claims AEW is more open-minded than WWE. So Dave is going to compare AEW to WWE in a couple ways here, okay? Dave Meltzer claims AEW is more open-minded than WWE when it comes to crowning world champions. He thinks Tony Khan considers a great variety of talent for that spot. Bullshit. Tony Khan has a type: short, white, and light. This is not open-minded. There's no variety. Yeah, WWE has had champions of every shape, size, creed, color. Fucking a woman's won the IC title. In AEW, they pity through the title at Swerve, and everybody else, it's just a fucking white dude who does moves, okay? And I know some people don't like when Kanoa, a friend of the show, does the race shit. The racial makes it a racial issue. But let's just be honest here. He breaks it down with stats and math, okay? So Dave's got to study and learn this math here.
Learn, Meltzer Inferno.
And it is reality, okay? Like, it's true. It's just vanilla midgets, as Kevin Nash would call them, right?
WWE still has this mentality that these are my money players. And Tony has them too, but he's a little bit more open-minded on it.
So what's open-minded about Dave sitting there lying, saying Ospreay's the biggest, one of the 4 biggest draws, and so they book him in the main event before even the champion? So wouldn't that be the same mentality? And so AEW World Heavyweight Champion by the numbers. The median height of an AEW World Heavyweight Champion, 6 feet tall only. The median weight of an AEW World Champion, which they work the height to. They all add an inch or two. That's what she said. Go, go, go. AEW World Heavyweight Champion, 227 pounds. Again, they add 10 pounds. All the wrestlers do it. A white man has held the AEW World Heavy. And not even that this is a problem. I'm not saying this is a problem. Like, okay, white dudes have the title. Who gives a fuck? And whatever. If Kanawa takes a different angle on that, that's on him. If he's like, hey, maybe you got to kick more flavor in your ear, you know? Look at how NXT, African NXT, as he calls it, was blowing up. My approach is just, this is mathematical, scientific, quantifiable evidence that tone doesn't favor the variety. Okay? This is just proof of that. So, AEW World, like, I'm not saying as a white man, like as a negative thing, right? AEW World Heavyweight Championship for 89% of its existence. Now, provided it's only been 7 years, but who's your 3-time champs? Oh, Mox and MJF, and fucking Omega's held it twice now, I believe, and fucking we're making no. And then again, when Dave says WWE's like, we have our main guys. Yeah. In the 7 years of AEW's existence, Mox is a 3-time champ. MJF's a 3-time champ. Hangman's a 2-time champ. Omega's a 2-time champ. Swerve's 1 time. Joe won it 2 times, I want to say, for very brief runs. Both times he had it. 1 or 2. I can't remember if Joe had it once or twice. For surely once. I think twice he's had it. Darby's had it once. So not only has it jumped around so many fucking times, but you have guys in 7 years. You have multiple guys who've had 3 and 2 title runs, and it's the same guys. You know what I'm saying? MJF's won it 3 or 4 times. So AEW, fuck all the white guys, 6 foot 227. If you don't even want to think about that, just think about this. It's literally what Dave is criticizing AEW for. Meanwhile, they just made Sammy the champ for 9 days, and Sammy won it from Rhodes, and fucking, Drew snuck in and won that shit. Right? So it's, yes, they have their draws. You want your champs to be draws and shit, but people have crept in and won these fucking belts, even on the women's front. In AEW, it's the same thing that Dave's criticizing them for. WWE for. It's the same, like, 4 guys. Mox wins the title a bunch. Hangman comes back whenever he wants and wins it. Kenny's won it 2-3 times. MJF's won it 2-3 times. Those are all the guys that Dave's trying to put over as draws and shit. It's the same guys winning the fucking belt. Fuck just a white dude. Look up the percentage of the 4 names I named, how long of AEW's history they've had the title. I bet you it's 90% of the time. So it's literally the same thing, but Dave is just inventing a lie because he's unhinged. Okay? He's actually lost it. And he's just lying and saying Tone is more like Tone made Mystico champion or something for 2 fucking years. Like, fuck
players. And Tony has them too, but he's a little bit more open-minded on it. They have a great variety of different people that they can put in and that they can believe, that he would believe in.
Who? Name them. So Swerve, did he believe in Swerve? Name them. Name the guys. We just listed all the champions. They're all different. He never gave fucking... He never even built Wardlow properly. He never gave Hobbs a chance. Big Bill starts getting over. He lets him go. This is what he does with Lashley. Ready, Dave? He goes, you guys are just going to not challenge for titles. You're just going to go, yeah, we're not challenging for titles. And then the sickos sit there and go, and we'll lap this up and believe what Dave's saying. And then they'll say tarded shit like, oh, the people in WWE are older who get the title. Meanwhile, look at the age. Like, everyone who has a title in AEW, bar the women, are like 40 up right now. Maybe Kevin Knight isn't. There's actually, I shouldn't even say that because there's 8 million titles in AEW if you want to count the ROH ones and shit. But, like, come on, man. Like, people are in their 40s and shit. Like, it's the same shit, but Dave will just make this up and lie and say Tone trusts more people to do a variety. Like what? How he gave the belt to Darby for a short minute? That's the same thing WWE just did with Sammy. Like, what are you talking about? They gave the belt to fucking Jinder Mahal, guys. Let's see Tone take a chance like that and then tell me, oh, he'll trust guys. Think about how much trust it took to put the belt on Jinder fucking Mahal. Jesus.
It could even be like, if you look at their roster of the guys that could be world champion, there's a lot of
that could be, but Tone doesn't book them. Lance Archer could have been threatening for the title or a world champ at one point. Penta, who he let go, who's going to be a world champ in WWE, was a world champ in every company he's ever been in, could have been the world champ in AEW. He's fucking gone. Santana's a world champ, could have been a world champ, was used as a tag guy, got in a fight with his tag partner and had to ask for his fucking release because he wasn't being fucking used. And then he goes and becomes a world champion. So that doesn't matter if you don't execute on it, which Tone doesn't do. And you're just lying and saying he fucking does that.
Guys there. WWE.
Holy shit, man. Dave is unhinged, bro. So again, he makes the comparisons between WWE and AEW a little bit. Not even the comparisons, pardon me. He just talks more about like the wars that are going on between WWE and AEW. And it seems as though WWE, because they are famously Tom Petty, okay? WWE's petty as fuck. And they will absolutely pull WWE ID talent off of my AEW shows. Do you get what I'm saying? So if you're on Produce Wrestling, they'll pull your ass off that, and I'm not even shocked by it. And now there's somewhat of an indies war going on, and it's shitty because WWE is going to play that card. But I don't know if this is going to be good for the boys on the indies for the next few years with Tone getting as many companies and feds, like if GCW ends up on my AEW, then what happens? Like, are the WWE ID people not allowed to wrestle any GCW show? Like, that's just going to be bad for the boys. And also, like HOG Wrestling and these other bigger indies, like they're getting hit, they're feeling the effects of this, and they're all one by one, and the 2x2. They're signing up for my AEW because of the revenue share element of it, you know? And I think the structure of my AEW is actually good. I do. And I think it could actually help some of these indies a little bit, but we have to see it in motion. And I just think it's years too late. Like, Tone should have did this like 5 fucking years ago, 6 years ago. Anyways, though, here's Dave's take on this. And Brian saying it seems pretty clear what's going on here. WWE does not want ID talent on a promotion airing on my AEW. And I agree with this. I actually think that is what's happening. I think it's pretty obvious. Okay. And I know that we take the piss from AEW a lot and Dave and shit, but you have to be honest about WWE when they do some whack shit, but also you can understand it from a business side of things. And you might think, well, it's whack what Tone's doing. It's not whack what WWE's doing. But I just think, like, if you're ID'd, the whole idea behind it, Brian, there's more than meets the eye. The whole premise of it was like, well, you work on the indies, you're your own person, but you're ID'd by us, whatever. But now they're trademarking the names and they're fucking pulling them off my AEW. And it's because it's not that it's a war, but again, you don't want someone that you're scouting. Like, look at Zeta Steele. She just took off and went to AEW, got a fat bag just to be someone, and she's still green as shit. She hasn't grown. She really needed NXT. She's good and shit, but she's just stuck. Like, she's just in a fucking group that doesn't matter in Ring of Honor, and that's not how you develop her. When they were already eyeing her up, like, she'd be on NXT regular TV right now, or the Evolve champ. I think she might have been the Evolve champ or whatever. Doesn't matter. But, like, she was smart, went and got a big ass bag, and good on her. She's young and shit. She can always go back to WWE at some point, but they don't want that to happen either to them. And, like, somebody that they were featuring and promoting for months, all of a sudden Zeta Steele's on fucking Collision. People Google her, and most of the most prominent posts with the most eyeballs on her come because WWE's promotional system was behind them. Of course they're going to pull Marcus Mathers. I'm Marcus Mathers. I'm an alcoholic. Right? So I totally get why they're going to do it, but it is shitty because this defeats the whole what the ID thing was. You might as well just go back to old, and you might as well just get rid of this whole concept, scout people, put them on Evolve. And if you get an ID contract, that means you're training at the PC. You can work select indies and you can work in Evolve. And that's what it is. I just explained what it is now. But before, it was like, no, we're not interfering with the indies other than for our title, the ID title, and whatever. But imagine, like, Tone would be licking his chops if the WWE ID championship appeared on my AEW app. Like, he would love that, dude. He would get such a mark boner for that. So it's fucking around with the indies. So we'll see this play out over the next few years. But let's take a listen to Dave and Brian's assessment.
All right, we have 2 WWE ID wrestlers who were pulled from Produce Volume 2, which is coming up on July 16th. And it seems pretty clear what's going on here. Well, WWE does not want ID talent on a promotion airing on my AEW.
Yeah. Originally, when they did this, they said that talent could work anywhere. They could work against AEW talent. They could work any independent that they want. In the long run,
he never said they can work AEW talent. Fuck, man. Dave just always adds extra. He always embellishes the truth. Right?
Happened, of course it was. I mean,
he always lies by omission, lies by exaggeration, embellishes, I guess would be, yeah. Or he'll fucking just flat out lie.
He's pulling a lot of ID
He
talent.
white lies. He's a lying liar who lies.
Now, some of it is because, they give them the dates for the taping at the last minute, and these guys have already made other dates. So that's some of it. But some of the people being pulled, like in this case, I think it's a situation where if you're on my AEW, I think that WWE's probably not going to want their talent on there, even though they when they signed these people, they told them that there would be no restrictions to where they worked, who they worked against, or anything.
It seems to be a regular thing where WWE tells you one thing at the beginning and then they change it.
Well, I mean, it's always like that.
It's been like that for 70 years.
Yeah, same with AEW, same with fucking they're carnies, bro. They're fucking carnies, so what do you expect?
Probably.
It's pro wrestling. It's the pro wrestling business. This is just like, okay, these guys are just understanding. Brian's always like Bry's epiphanies. He's always like just understanding pro wrestling.
But it's been like that for a while.
Oh my God.
All right, we have two
So
WWE.
let's get into some. Now we have them just talking about WWE and Brian just really trying hard and melting down about WWE in general. Guys, hit like, hit subscribe, hit retweet if you're on X. Come say hello in the chat. Vote in the poll. I put a poll in the chat. And it's just about whose title win you thought was the best, Punk's or Kenny Omega's. And become a member for 99 cents or check out patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. I just uploaded a Botchamania watch along there, and another one's going to come. It'll be there tomorrow morning for you guys. And there's a bunch coming down the pipeline. And also there's bonus episodes of Dave Meltzer, Dumb Moment of the Week, patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. It's pinned in the comment on YouTube. And also I'm almost at 8,000 subs. I'm like 35 subs away on youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips, guys. So if you enjoy the show, if you check it out on X and you're like, I have a YouTube channel, I'll sub to this guy. Check me out on YouTube and sub. Let's get to the 8K mark so we can have an 8K party. And I appreciate you guys so much. So now Brian's going to melt down hard about WWE. And obviously, before we get to that, there's some cope and some discussion about WWE as of late and NXT, of course. And Bry's about to melt down over not just Punk, but many other things. So NXT Great American Bash went down. And Dave Meltzer talks about how it did a disappointing rating going against Forbidden Door Brian. Now, the problem with his take here is that it really didn't. It did almost 400,000 on TV, and then you got to take the Netflix viewership, and it's developmental. So besides Tony D and Evil, all of these people are no-name, brand new. Tristan Angels, Dave sweating that against the greatest show of all time with the Bucks and Kenny and Osprey and all the biggest draws of all time, Mox, and it's 4 companies. So it's Nuge, Stardom, CMLL, and AEW have to come together, and they're getting felted by NXT Great American Bash. And Dave just copes over it, calls it a bad rating. And it's not a bad rating by any means for a developmental. Most people shouldn't even see this. We shouldn't even be seeing Tavion Heights right now. He should be an FCW, okay? He should be being watched regionally. But because of the internet and streaming deals and the level of the talent in WWE, you got to do this shit on network or whatever the fuck, you got to put it on the CW, whatever. So this was a massive win for NXT and WWE. And other than Tony D, who, let's face it, the masses don't know who that is, and Evil, who the masses don't know who that is yet, but he's main roster bound for sure. They're 2 vets in the game. Tony D made his name in NXT. Evil made his name in New Japan. And this is the guy from Nuge that Tone passed up on and doesn't like and doesn't want anything to do with. And you're sweating about him going head to head with Forbidden Door, which is your big Nuge crossover show with Stardom and CMLL. You're worried about Kendall Gray and Shiloh Hill. Most people don't know who the fuck those people are. You know what I'm saying?
The NXT show from Sunday
didn't do well.
No. So it actually did worse than I expected, and I did not expect it to do well. Yeah, they did 394,000.
So about 400,000 with Netflix, easily over 400,000. What's the problem with that? How is that bad? It's developmental. And it was on a Saturday. And most people don't know, NXT is going to be on the CW on a Saturday. It's a PLE, though. It's like a paper PLE. No, I mean, it's a PLE the way like Saturday Night Main Event is, which I guess you could consider it a PLE, but it's PLE means premium live event. So you're not paying a premium. And even the PLEs on like Netflix, a premium live event. Well, it's just on Netflix, or it was on Peacock. So I guess I'm paying a monthly subscription. So maybe you could say it's a premium. I guess I'm paying for the CW along with all the other shit on my fucking cable package or whatever, right? So, okay, maybe it's a premium live, but it's just a show they did on a Saturday. That's all it is.
Viewers, 0.07.
It's got a fancy name. It's like calling Beach Break a pay-per-view or a PLE. No, it's just a show they did with a theme.
So they're, CW's paying a premium. This
0.07 in the key demo, which matters more than the overall rating, and that's like AEW Dynamite's key demo. That's like 2 points less than AEW Dynamite doing good in the key demo, according to Dave. You know what I'm saying?
It was like them buying pay-per-views and then doing a number nowhere near what the regular Tuesday night show does. Although to be fair, in 18 to 49, while it was a low number, there have been some Tuesday shows that are on the weaker side that have done 0.07s. There have been some that have done the 25-54 numbers, but overall viewers, I mean, I don't recall them, rarely, the low 500s is about as low as it gets, and this was 394. I mean,
so then if that's as low as it gets, then what the fuck is Collision doing when they get 0.03 in the key demo and do under 300,000 or do just above 300,000 or not even 400,000? So Collision's dead in the water, and we're not wrong about our assessment on that. So TNA is just done, finished.
Positive, if there is one, is that the Kendall Gray Lola Vice match.
Of course. The positive, I mean, this match that I gave a lot of stars to was so good. And so I'm trying to poach her for tone. Like,
at the end of a 3-hour show, and what whether it's AEW or WWE, when you see the quarters of a 3-hour show, usually hour 3, no matter who's in hour 3, it always goes down. The idea that hour 3, are you sure about that, buddy? So if Punk or Roman Reigns is in hour 3, does it go down? Are you sure about that, Dave? You talking out of your ass again now, buddy? Huh?
This just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
Main event of hour 3. The main event of the show in hour 3 being the highest rated part of the show.
So when everybody says Tone should stop doing dumb overruns and nobody sees the overrun, and then you cope and go, it was I mean, it doesn't matter. It's whatever. But then with NXT, it's like, in hour 3, it's going to be less people. But Kendall Gray, I mean, it's a positive that the least amount of people saw her there. What are you saying, man?
It's, not impossible, but it's very, very unusual. So I guess that's a feather in their cap, that they had the highest almost across the board. They had the highest thing.
So Dave goes, everyone in the business, no matter who it is, it's always going to be lower, except for, here's an example, Kendall Gray and Lola Vice had the highest rating, and Phil Marks is over here saying, what about Roman Reigns or Punk or Cody Rhodes if they're in the fucking main event? You mean to tell me that the fucking rating would go down? Like he just says shit. He doesn't even think about what he's saying.
But yeah, I mean, it was
the worst analysis
the next
in
one's
the
going
fucking
to be
biz.
Worse because they're going against a stronger AEW show. They're going against All In, and they're going from 3 to 6 instead of from 7 to 10 on a Sunday. So obviously it's a far worse time slot. I mean, the only way they can make this one work is they got to send I don't even think an LA Knight or a Usos or anything like that would help them. I think Cody Rhodes, maybe a Randy Orton if he's back by then. But I mean, it's going to take.
They're talking about NXT as if it's the main roster, guys. Like this,
or the young superstar, babyface, the former heel thing. So the only reason I know about this is because I know about it.
Man,
obviously a Punk.
They're talking about it like it's the main roster, Davis. And they're worried about AEW versus NX fucking T, man. That's how you know that AEW is not hot and has zero motion right now.
Or somebody, at that level, Undertaker or whatever. I think that at least would...
I think that guys, this is what he just said.
I think that
I think that. So I think that you could throw in a second one or say, I think that at least would help. Or even most people go, I think that at least would help. He goes, I think that at least would help. Holy fucking shit, man.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
Like someone, obviously a Punk or somebody, at that level, Undertaker or whatever. I think that at least would
oh man,
give them a chance to do a better number than this.
Oh my god, dude. So we move along here. And Dave Meltzer now is going to cope about why WWE gave the title to Sammy. And he goes, is it because it was too predictable? And then now the narrative is, oh, did they give the title to Punk to try and shock everyone because things were too predictable? But you were just saying that Sammy winning the title is because things were too predictable. It's because this was their plan for a while. Okay? And Trips wanted to give Sammy the belt one time. Maybe he'll get it again down the road. Maybe someone gets hurt and he's got to step up, God forbid. But they went, you know what? Sammy's going to get that fucking moment in Saudi. We're going to give it to him one time. And we're fortunate enough we can do it this way, and we have a great story, and Rhodes and Punk are all in on it, pun intended. Because they're going to fucking wrestle each other, and we're going to felt AEW again. So here's Dave just groveling over why they put the title on Sammy.
I hate the idea of a 9-day title reign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really hate.
What's the difference between that and Darby's title? I hate the idea of a 9-day title reign. Why? Why, man? They all got to be a year. They should all be Roman Reigns runs. But AEW, they flip-flop the belt around every fucking 2 or 3 weeks the last little while. Not one. I hate that. He hasn't said that about anything. He's just putting it over and talking about how many more tickets AEW's going to sell.
I hate that idea. Just not like in general, like sometimes it's the right move. I think this is just, I think if it's in this case, the reasons I'll say I hate it is because number one, it's like it was all, and there's nothing wrong with this. This was all done probably because they got thin-skinned.
No, it's Dave, you're thin-skinned, bro. You're thin-skinned, dude. You're so thin-skinned, it can't even hang on to your the hairs on your head, dude. That's how thin your skin is. So stop projecting. They're thin-skinned and wanted to do. Dave, this was the plan the whole time. If you didn't treat CM Punk's agent, let's say, like fucking Lord Voldemort, and treat him like the man who cannot. You could fucking reach out to this motherfucker. He'd probably give you a quote. He'd probably get you a quote. But instead, you want to fuck with him and his livelihood. You can't even mention the guy's fucking name. And meanwhile, it's fucking summertime. Punk goes away. There's a plan here, motherfucker. There's a goddamn plan put in motion, clearly. And Dave can't rack his brain around it.
Because
it's got to be because WWE's too predictable and they're thin-skinned, and so they're crying like babies, and so they have to fucking Bryan, Garrett.
They got thin-skinned. You know, there's two things. They got thin-skinned over it's so predictable. So we're going to change the title, and everyone's going to be happy, even though, in fact, as you'll see on SmackDown, a lot of people booed him. Because
a lot of people booed him, bro. See, like, this is how fucking stupid Dave is. He doesn't even get pro wrestling.
He has the guy that has papers everywhere in his room.
Oh my God, man. They thought people would be happy, but then he got booed. Dave, they knew he'd get cheered in Saudi, so they gave him the moment in Saudi, and they knew he'd get booed in America again. And so in America, he's getting booed, and then they go, you're going to have the title for a week and drop it on Raw. We're going to try and pop a rating, and we're going to send CM Punk to SmackDown. You're going to have a rematch with him on SmackDown. He's going to beat you again, but you're in the title picture. Try and pop a rating over there. MSNBC really wanted Punk, one Bill Phil. So this is the plan. The plan wasn't, oh, he's going to come back to America and just a fucking big ovation. Everyone can't believe it. They're not dumb fucks like AEW. Okay? They don't just flip people, I mean, yes, that has happened. And some things deserve to be explained a little bit more, especially with releases and stuff. But Moxley just all of a sudden cut a babyface promo, was a babyface with a title. And they expect people to cheer him while he does heel shit still. They're not going to do that with Sammy. Okay? They gave him that fucking moment in Saudi. They knew he'd get cheered there. And they don't even care if they booed him out of the building, probably better. But he shows up to America. They knew what to anticipate. Dave's laughing like they thought he was going to come home to a big standing ovation. Like, fuck, they knew that wasn't going to happen. That's why they booked it the way they booked it. That's why they booked him against Punk in fucking Chicago. Like, how is this? Because if it was Rhodes versus Punk or someone else, like, how dumb do you have?
Heel for 4 months.
He's been a heel for 4 months. They don't even know it. Yeah, they do know it. That's why they didn't change how he's booked. He just won the title somewhere. They cheered him. You're fucking stupid. You're a dumb fuck. Will Ospreay is running around with the heels, Dave. They're going to cheer him at fucking Wembley. Every crowd they go to, they cheer Ospreay, even though he's running around with heels. You don't care. You don't even say shit like this.
To win as a babyface. I mean, from a storyline make sense thing.
From a make sense thing. From a storyline make sense thing. That doesn't even make sense.
What?
Ironically, what you just said doesn't make fucking sense. As a storyline makes sense thing. Yeah, this is the fucking prolific writer, thinker, orator, and fucking news journalist we should be listening to. A guy who says, from a storyline makes sense thing. No, it makes perfect sense. They never flipped Sammy back babyface. In fact, it makes so much sense. It makes even more sense than you're giving it credit for, because Sammy never really fully turned heel. He's done heel as shit for sure at this point. But his whole shtick was, I'm a good guy. I do everything right, but I get the short end of the stick. And now I'm starting to snap. So it's literally like the tweener thing WWE keeps doing. And you're too fucking dumb to even understand this. And now you're trying to tell your audience who don't watch WWE, they just watch clips, go on Twitter, masturbate to Joshi wrestling, and then listen to your bullshit. Okay? And then they fucking and then they think this is reality or what? Like, who's giving you money for these bad takes where it's like you're not even watching the fucking show?
This was the most nonsensical, non-storyline thing almost ever.
It's not a storyline, and not almost ever, Dave. No, it's not. So it's more nonsensical than Moxley just winning a title going, oh, I love wrestling. And then all of a sudden he's just like rocking with good guys and trying to be the good guy. After he fucking drowned people in fish bowls, put plastic bags over their heads and shit, put them in trunks, tied them up, lit them on fire and shit. That's the most nonsensical thing in pro wrestling, even in recent memory. Storyline-wise, what's the story? It was actually brilliant storyline-wise. Sammy stole it in Saudi. He was not to come home to a hero's welcome. They knew that. They set him up to lose in Chicago, where they knew Punk would cheer him out of the fucking building. Dave is a grifting grifter who grifts. He's acting in bad faith. He knows it. And even Garrett can't keep. He's looking at Dave like, okay, Dave, you're going too far.
It's a surprise. And to some people who are most vocal critics that we don't listen to, but we really do, this will shut them up because we're going to give one of their favorites, indie favorites, the title that, you know, he deserves because he's been such a great wrestler for 20 years. And
so, Dave, does he not? He deserves with the quotation. So does he not deserve it? Like, what do you even mean by that part? Well, they don't think he deserves it. Well, clearly they fucking do if they put it on him.
Does everything, and he was part of the catalyst of where we are, even though we've kind of dropped him because we don't think he's marketable enough.
We kind of dropped him and don't think he's marketable enough. So we kind of dropped this guy, and Dave's saying this after Sammy won the title before he dropped it to Punk. That's what when Dave said this. Oh, we kind of dropped our WWE champion.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
Dave's unhinged. He's
unhinged. You know, for 9 days, it's fine. And everybody's going to talk. Oh my God, is this good? Is this bad? Then we go back to our plans. Probably. Maybe they tweak them. I don't know.
Is it
the plan was for Sammy to win and then drop the shit and have Rhodes not lose to Punk so they can get to that down the road. You dumb fuck. Clearly, you dumb, stupid, dumb. In my opinion. And Dave is sitting here pretending. I don't know, man. He's just so full of his own shit.
That they saw the Darby thing and they're like, hey, let's do a similar thing with Sammy. He can just defend the world title on TV for 4 weeks and then come SummerSlam, we'll beat him and everything.
We'll beat him with Punk?
Back. Yeah.
Yeah, of course you could do that.
Yeah, of course you could do that. That's not his question. You shark-brained, Morlock, sewer-dwelling rat. That's not the fucking question he asked you, dum-dum. He asked if they saw the Darby thing and said, we're going to copy that. And this is why I have to do what about, if it's your first time tuning in, I'm calling Dave a lot of fucking names this show, and you have to do the whataboutism because that's what they do. They think everything has to do with AEW. Dave goes, yeah, you could do that. That's not what he asked you.
Yeah. Maybe that's something to do with it. I don't know.
Oh, man. So Dave Meltzer, talked about Sammy following his loss to Punk. He goes, the world championships really are in the hands of the people who the perception is are the money players, and Sammy is not. In their mind, one of those people. They're still all brainwashed by the cosmetics in a lot of ways. So now WWE and the fans are brainwashed.
The only reason I know about this is because I know about it.
So now they're brainwashed because they want draws to draw money for their company. And that certain people are good hands, but can't be the guy. Sammy is one of those guys in their minds. That can't be the guy. But they made him the guy. They made him the guy, Dave. Everything you're saying would make sense if Sammy never won the title. but he won it. So shut up. Because you're a dumb-ass clown and you're just saying stupid shit. That doesn't make fucking any sense. They can't run with him for a year. Well, why would you want to when you have all these other fucking draws? Well, they're brainwashed because they just want their draws to draw them money. So here's Dave talking about it.
Yeah, CM Punk is new WWE champion. They beat Sami Zayn.
It was a hell of a match. Super loud crowd. Sami Zayn's role was to get the title onto Punk without Punk having to beat Cody and using Cody to chase Punk. Sami Zayn was never going.
So what's wrong with that? Name one thing wrong with that.
Going to be the champion that people that were really happy that he won wanted him to be. It was never going to happen. I mean, the big question was it going to be 9 days, or was it going to be 3 weeks, or was it going to be a month? You know what I mean? And it was 9 days. So it's like, I saw a lot of people upset about it, and it was like, look, this is what it was going to be. You know that going in. They don't really, at this point in time, you know, they do this for the undercard titles. They really don't for the two major men's titles. They really aren't. I mean, in the past, absolutely, there were times where they were passed around belts. You know, I've told the stories. We've all told the stories. They really aren't passed around belts now.
The stories, man. They really aren't pass around belts now. Well, it looks like they are. They just passed around a bunch of belts. So you're triggered and you're just like melting down, calling people brainwashed and shit because they switched it up and this isn't good for you. Like Dave, he just has to try and find the negative.
They really are in the hands of the people who the perception is are the money players. And Sami is not, in their mind, one of those people. He could have been. I mean, there was a time, you know.
You don't know that. You're not a fortune teller.
Oh, I mean, it's funny. There was a time where he was, but even then in their minds, he still wasn't, because it's like one of those things of, you know, they're still all.
He's trying to allude to the fucking bloodline, but he's such a dumb fuck. He can't just say the bloodline storyline. He was super over, but ultimately it was the bloodline. So it didn't matter if Sami was in it or not. Like at the end of the day, that shit was over as fuck, gonna remain over as fuck. He definitely helped elevate and propel it. Okay. Just like he helped elevate and propel whatever the fuck they're doing, gave us an amazing match on a Raw, a crazy story, working the fans after. Is he going to get a rematch on SmackDown? Pierce is running both shows, so does Pierce book the rematch? I was there at Raw, Sami. This is SmackDown. You're a Raw superstar. You get it. Pardon me. Punk was a Raw superstar, and Sami, you're a SmackDown star, so you get a shot. You're the number one contender as far as I was. We don't know. Do we get the part 2 on fucking SmackDown? Dave doesn't like this.
Brainwashed by the cosmetics in a lot of ways.
Brainwashed by the cosmetics. So the whole fucking industry is predicated on selling tickets, selling merch, selling people on big matches. And the person who does that at the tippy top, a guy like Punk or Roman, you're brainwashed because you can look at objective reality and data and quantify, well, we should put the belts on these guys because they're our biggest fucking needle movers. And that's brainwashed.
Ways.
And I'm not one of these corpo fucking slop guys, but Punk is like anti-establishment. That's always been his MO and his gimmick. Right? So Roman is the polished, I'm going to run to the GM and fucking stooge and get my way and play politics to get my way on camera. So character-wise, it fucking works. Like in kayfabe and shit. So what more can you ask for? And this kept the fans on their toes. And this isn't just shocking bullshit for the sake of shocking bullshit either. It's setting up something greater, something bigger. Okay? We're going to get Punk versus Sami rematch. Cody Rhodes is the guest ref. He snaps on fucking Punk. Or something like that.
And that certain people, you know, are good hands, but they can't be the guy. And Sami is one of those guys in their minds that can't be the guy. They could give, like I said, they could give him the belt. They gave him the belt. it was a way, I mean, it's an interesting way to go into the feud with Punk going into the feud as the champion rather than Cody. I actually think it's better the other way, but I thought it was kind of intriguing the way they went into it.
Yeah. So again, Dave is like, it was intriguing. There you go. What more can you ask for? So speaking of CM Punk, Dave had this to say to touch on his rumors, because he spread the false narrative that there's heat, and he knows what he was doing. He was signal boosting a fake story. There's heat between Punk and TKO and blah, blah, blah. And he signal boosted it, and he knew what he was doing. He absolutely knew what he was doing. Right. And he got all these sickos and wackos fucking groveling all over this shit. And he was like, oh, well, Punk wants to return in Chicago, but he's slated for SmackDown. And it's like, okay, so the reasonable answer is they're going to use him in Chicago, and then he's just going to go after the WWE title on SmackDown moving forward. Now the stories are coming out. It's the opposite of problems. NBC, Universal, and USA are like, CM Punk, we want Punk, we want Punk. Do you know what I'm saying?
Even though it's kind of been out.
So it's the complete opposite. So Dave is going to, it's kind of been out that Punk
is kind of been out that Punk is likely returning.
And he tried to signal boost the narrative that fucking Punk would go to AEW as well. That's what all the shit tried to do.
I've seen so little about Punk returning compared to every other time Punk returns, where it's always like this gigantic stuff. So I'm wondering how much that's going to help, because, like going in, because of the soccer game, I thought that this show, especially with the soccer is so big. I mean, it's unbelievable. But anyway, I thought because of that the rating for Raw would be like, it probably will be the all-time low tomorrow, except that championship match may save it, and Punk being back may save it. But other than that, like I think there's almost no way it couldn't be an all-time low, because there's gonna be 30 million people watching that game, and WWE's not that hot right now. Really?
WWE's not that hot right now, really. Meanwhile, they had a fucking hot-ass crowd. They're hot going into SummerSlam. Ticket sales, if the prices were lower, they'd sell more fucking tickets. That's for goddamn sure. That's a fair critique. Meanwhile, AEW slashing tickets 50% off for their biggest show of the year. Doing shit attendances. And they're the hottest they've ever been. And remember when Dave was like, oh, the fucking attendance and the ratings, it's almost never like been a thing where it's correlated. They don't have to correlate. And then Raj Giri pulled that fucking chart where it's like 1-to-1, the same over the last however many years. When the ratings are down, the attendance is down and shit.
I mean, like I don't see it doing the number that 3-hour and 47-minute show did, just because of that. But aside from that, last week did the lowest, and that the competition there wasn't even nearly as tough as this. So, and plus, unlike the NFL, the World Cup is like really worldwide. The NFL will kill them in the United States, but the World Cup, that's like, that's going to kill them in the UK. Although it's not, obviously today's game was the big one in the UK, but it's still going to kill them everywhere.
It's going to kill them everywhere. Dave, your business is in the shit, and so is fucking Tony Khan's. So what are you talking about? Grasping at fucking straws. And so here's Bryan Alvarez crashing out about CM Punk and WWE. This is fucking hilarious. And he's so fucking annoying when he does this shit. Like, because it's faux outrage. It doesn't even seem real. And he's just poo-pushed over Punk stealing his girl back in the day. Okay. And then he just goes off in an unhinged fashion over Raw. When it's like, bro, the shit you're talking about on AEW with like the workhorsemen and Osprey and shit, that should make you rage instead of trying to explain to fucking Dave why he's mental. Okay, the fucking LA Knight, Seth Rollins. Okay, you put two guys out there who are over and they don't have the best promo battle in history. It drags out a little too long and he has a meltdown. He's like, fuck WWE and shit like this. So he actually snaps and he's like, fuck this company. So here is Bryan Alvarez completely. Before we get to that, I had to create a channel for this for 5. Says people like Dave and JD want long-term booking. Then while it's happening, act like every move is in response to the IWC. I'm over here now. Dude, you're absolutely right. And they sit there and pretend that like Sammy having the title for 9 days isn't a beat to the story, to the long-term picture. It's all just short-term to them because that's what they praise and glaze out of Tony Khan's booking. And I don't know about JD. Like with JD, he just yells about shit and he just wants like everything. It's just like, I get it. Like, he just kind of, it seems like he wants to be handheld a little bit through shit, right? And it's funny because John Alba's the same way. They're similar in that way. But John Alba calls JD a grifter and shit. But thank you so much for the super chat and the support. I appreciate that. So here's Bryan Alvarez just completely being a tard and not understanding the difference between part-timer and full-timer, which the IWC wanted to do. And again, Bryan knows this is fake. This is fake outrage, but he's trying to signal boost this fucking narrative to hate on Punk. And I'm not like the Punk defender. Like I roasted him for apologizing in Saudi and shit. But I am a huge, massive Punk fan. You guys know that. But I'll keep it real about whatever wrestler, right? I don't give a fuck. That's what I'm here for. The thing is that Bry is just phony, faux, F-A-U-X, fake, and phony when he does this, and he knows what he's doing. He's trying to enhance the narrative online that Punk is a part-timer. He's not a fucking part-timer. He's full-time. He's every single week. He's on every fucking show. He takes a few months off for summer break. And you guys are trying to make up rumors that he's going to go back to AEW and shit. This is how mental you guys have. Punk derangement syndrome. It's a real thing. Let's take a listen.
I don't know what they're going to do, but Cody's a babyface. Sammy's going to end up being Daniel Bryan here. I think we may finally get that CM Punk heel turn because the story here is basically he's a hypocrite. He's everything that he complained about. Guys, remember that promo he did where he goes, I'm always here? You know, unlike these Roman...
He hasn't become everything he's always complained about. He didn't leave for fucking years to do just Hollywood, Bry. Okay? He didn't become all that. He's banged up. He's older. He took a couple months off. He's not a part-timer. He has banger after banger on Raw, every pay-per-view. He just had match of the fucking year candidate at WrestleMania. And Bry goes, he's become everything he's hated. He's a drunk, cigarette-smoking part-timer in WWE. He became a young buck, Bryan? Is that what you're saying? He's in the elite now?
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Reigns, I'm all the way. Then he went home in April, disappeared until July 6th, and then waltzed in and took that belt. And obviously this is all storyline, but like in storyline, he's everything that he's complaining about.
And they get triggered about fucking storyline shit all the time. Obviously it's storyline, but in storyline, he's everything he complained. No, he's not. Because he's a full-time fucking wrestler. Dude. Like, he's there all the fucking time. It's just crazy to say this shit. Like, would you call Dom part-time or full-time? It's like Dom. I feel like Dom wrestles less than Punk on average on fucking TV in 2026.
Out for decades. These guys that just, older guys coming in, taking stuff, not working.
It's not what he's done. Not working. He's bulked up. Punk's in the best shape of his life. Bulked up. Not working. Bri, he's in the best shape of his life. Is that not part of his job? To get in shape like that and have a classic with Sami Zayn on a Raw? That's not working hard? Bri's a fucking short goofball, dude.
These guys that just, older guys coming in, taking stuff, not working. I mean, that's what happened here. So
not working. Punk's not working. Oh, really? Did you see that fucking match? Or are you just sad because he stole you, bitch?
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething. The truth it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping so hard. Coping and seething.
He's going to SmackDown. I think he might be.
He will be on SmackDown on Friday night in Oklahoma
he will.
City, they announced.
Yes, he will.
And all the house shows. I can't wait. I'm going to see Punk when they come up to Canada and shit. So here is now Bryan, and I think he's like, fuck this company or something in this clip. I'm looking for it. It seems as though like I didn't, or did we cover it already last show? I don't remember, but here's Bry complaining about Seth and LA Knight's promo segment going too long.
I did not think the fans were into this promo at all because they start chanting CM Punk immediately. And then they're like,
yeah, well, he's the rival of CM Punk.
But I mean, he's doing this promo and he talked for like 30 minutes and they're dead. And by the end, they start doing what chants? Because he just keeps fucking going.
Well, it's too long.
I'm like, dude, get to the fucking point. So finally,
it's look, the promos that length are too long. I don't care if it's Roman Reigns. I don't care if it's Seth Rollins. I don't care if it's Punk. Those promos, the promo was too long, and then LA Knight came out.
Well, not only was it too long, but like he decided to do the quiet, monotone, serious promo, and like you can do that for a little while.
These guys are all over. The promo went too long. It was so stupid. Then LA Knight, who's super over, came out. Oh my god! Hey, Ospreay shouldn't sell for fucking JD Drake for 4.5 minutes. Or for like 5 minutes and then fucking go 50-50 with some random guy for 5 minutes and then do his shit and win the match. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they do. They're a top draw. It does not matter. They're the greatest draws of all time, Bryan. Beat Goldberg and Hollywood Hogan, Bryan. Do you guys see the difference? You guys see why I do this show? It's fucking disgusting, Dave's behavior.
Oh, but brother, I mean... This just went on. I wrote like 1,000 words recapping this promo.
I know.
You're complaining about Roman and you got chances and I didn't, but I love this business. I'm like this kid. He goes, what did he say? He had some line.
He had a million lines. The thing is,
he had a million lines. It doesn't matter what the line was. He had a million lines.
It's just like this would be good on.
Oh yeah, he goes, I was so angry when you said that you made 20 times more than me or whatever.
10 times you make
10 times more for
10, and I work
1/10 of the work or whatever.
Yeah, but
then hold on a second, Dave. Hold on.
Yes.
Then he goes,
and listen to how fucking dumb Bry is.
I don't do it for the money. It's like, you just bitched for 5 minutes about this guy's line about how he makes so much more money than you, and then you're.
Yeah, dude. Bryan, I know you guys are fucking dumb. I know you both squint and your eyes don't fucking fully open, and you're both just tired, middle-aged. Dave's on like the fucking home stretch. You know what I'm saying? And I know you guys like don't actually even understand what the fuck you're watching clearly, as made evident on DMDMW every week. But Rollins was pointing out how he had to do 10 times the work to make the same amount of money. He's pointing out, Roman, you were always the chosen one. You do 1/10 of the work and you make 20 times the money. I don't do it for the fucking money. My actions, his actions prove that. He did 10x the work and still gets less money. So it's not saying it's not saying I do it for the money. It's not even being hypocritical like Bry thinks it is. Bry doesn't know like the definition of words and how things work, right? It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with fucking him just highlighting how he is a workhorse. He's had to work 10 times harder than Roman Reigns to get 1/20th of the money or whatever the fuck. He doesn't do it for the money. He's not saying, I need more money. He's saying with his words, I don't do it for the money. And he used his words to showcase how his actions exemplify that. That's all it is. That's just showing contrast and why there might be resentment. He's talking about his workload and what he's done. Bryan can't grasp this.
Bitch for 5 minutes about this guy's line about how he makes so much more money than you. And then your point is, I don't care about the money. It's like, oh my God.
Right. He doesn't. He cares about the work he put in. He's saying, I don't do it for the money. You do less work. You make 20 times the money. I do 10 times the fucking work, and I don't do it for the money. It's like, it's not that fucking stupid, right? Like Alvarez is just really dumb. And he just doesn't understand like how Seth was just basically like, okay, actions speak louder than words, but I'm using my words to explain to you what my actions have been versus yours. And you make 20 times what I do, but I don't do this for the fucking money. It's like perfectly sensible. It's like what you'd say, you know? If he was coping about the money and he's like, oh, I could have bought my wife a thing and I could have bought my son a thing and I could have got my daughter and I deserve that money because I do the more work. It's not that. He's just saying you do less work and make 20 times what I make. I do 10 times the work. I ain't doing it for the fucking money. That's what he's saying. It makes if he was bitching about like I could have bought the car and the new shoes, then okay. That's not what he did. So it's just like crazy. You have to like explain basic shit to Bry. So this is what fucking Bry and Dave had to say, and they're just sabotaging Sheamus's fucking job here. And Sheamus, it was revealed today that Sheamus is actually interested in going to AEW, allegedly. According to the sheets, he would even go there for a short run, like a one-off fucking, he would even go there for a little bit of time because he wants some tone bucks. Everybody does. But the sheets are like, nope, Tone's pinching pennies. So again, Dave spent a year going 3.6 million per week rolling in, Brian. They're rolling in the dough. Scrooge McDuck bucks. But now they're sitting here talking about they got to pinch pennies and can't bring Sheamus in for a one-off for All In the UK, which would make all the sense in the world. So now Sheamus has got to get the narrative out there in the dirt sheets. I'd go there for even one match, fella. You know, even if it was a short time thing, I'm interested in it, even if they aren't. So here's Dave and Bry fucking with people's jobs, okay? So I think this might have been Brian. No, this is Dave, I think, with all the likes. And or maybe this is Brian, but either way, I did talk to a lot of people today in AEW who were like, are we really going to take this guy? And again, Jericho and Meltzer considers Jericho friendly. Jericho doesn't directly stooge to anybody, but he's known as a worker, a politician, and Jericho's known for this. Okay, guys? Jericho's known for like telling little birdies things that float things so it doesn't come right from him. Okay? And he's known for that. Dave has always covered Jericho favorably. Now, I heard an allegedly that this is what the boys in AEW were saying about Jericho. Some of them were like, what the fuck? Like, what do we do with him creatively? Now, that could be rumors and innuendo, but I find it funny that when it comes to Sheamus, all of a sudden the sheets are saying shit that I was saying people were saying about Jericho.
He had Cuervo with him the whole time, too.
That's all I'm getting at. So Dave or Brian goes, let me make this abundantly clear. Everybody I talked to, a person was like, and like Cultaholic, you're all lazy bums. You, Wrestling News Co., Wrestle Purists, you all copy Dave's shit or you let AI translate it and you just leave his typos in there and you let AI copy instead of the word in or or whatever the fuck he said, and then you don't correct it. Zero editing, zero effort, fucking slop. People want to talk about slop, dude. So, okay, let me make this abundantly clear. Everybody I talked to, a person was like, I really like Sheamus. I really like him. But the basic gist of it is like, there are so many people, I think this is Brian, people under contract, and there's so many people that already can't get on TV, and we're going to hire another 48-year-old. Like, everyone's got ideas like Sheamus and Cesaro. That is so ass. Being in the Death Riders. Dude, Sheamus in the Death Riders, you might as well piss in his fucking mouth on national television. Nobody had anything against Sheamus personally. It was just sort of like, here comes another one because the New Day's probably coming in. Now, I also heard, and allegedly, your boy Phil S. Marks heard, allegedly, that WWE hasn't shut the door on, we'll work with New Day. Like, New Day.
Allegedly.
You don't got to go there. Come on. Like, the door of discussion and negotiations open there. It's never really closed. And think about it. They're bringing Enzo, Cass, Corbin. You mean to tell me they won't work with the New Day if the New Day just wanted to take maybe a bit? There's also rumors that Sammy's the guy who fucking took a 50% pay cut and shit. And so him winning the WWE title could be a bit of an award. We'll talk about that and dive deeper on that on Saturday, PWT live show every Wednesday and Saturday night. But there's 3 more slots that people who have been there for a long time or should be on the way up or who should be younger, they're going to be iced out again. People weren't really thrilled about that idea. And they weren't thrilled about Jericho, but the Observer aren't going to say that about Jericho. And they're not thrilled about New Day. And they haven't been thrilled about a lot of fucking people. Time and time again in AEW, you just don't hear about it because the dirt sheets will sweep for it unless it's something like, well, they don't like evil. They don't want evil. Evil's washed. They don't like Takahashi. Right? Like that's the only time. So Sheamus, it's like, they don't really want Sheamus. He's a Fed guy. And he's a guy that everybody shitted on. He's a WWE guy through and through. So sickos, you don't like him, but you actually do because you're fucking marks at the end of the day. Most you watch AEW or WWE as well. But here's Dave's take on with Sheamus being set to leave WWE. Could he be a good fit in AEW? And again, he said things. He's gone on the air and literally said things like,
poor people don't like AEW.
And he's also gone on the air and said Javon Evans could make like way more money and be a top star in AEW. He's gone on the air and said Kendall Gray could make 10 times what she's making now and be in AEW. He's gone on record and said that. And we know Tone phones him. We know he has private meetings with Tone at Forbidden Door. And then all of a sudden the Observer's going, we talked to everyone, and fucking Bry's like, yeah, they just don't want to bring him in. Let's hear what Dave has.
Sheamus is out of there when this deal is up.
I'm not shocked. The TKO thing, from talking to people there, they are willing, very willing to pay really, really, really giant money to people who they perceive as the stars, like a sports team. You know what I mean?
So sensible, good business, makes a bunch of sense. Sheamus, I'm sorry, he's past his time. Almost 50 years old. And then you have tards like Alba going, well, Sheamus releasing a guy, or maybe it was Elbu who said this, releasing a guy like Sheamus is very short-sighted. And it's like, what the fuck, man? He's almost 50. It would be short-sighted to pay him a shitload of money to keep him. Or you pay Trick and Javon combined, make probably less than what Sheamus was making, clearing a fucking year. And he's been making that kind of money for the last almost 20 years, and he's almost 50. So who do you want to invest in over the next 20 years? A Javon and a Trick and a fucking Oba? Or Sheamus for the next 2? What's more short-sighted? Like, these people take words like short-sighted. They don't know the definition. Grifter. They don't even know what it means, but they just say it. Part-timer. They don't even know what it means, but they get triggered by it. At PWT, at DMDMW, words matter, folks. Hashtag words matter.
But when it's older wrestlers who they perceive as being on their downside and have big contracts, they're very
perceived like they're fucking dumb fucks, and they don't know whether Sheamus is on his downside when a 12-year-old wrestling fan could tell you Sheamus is on his downside. A 12-year-old's like, yeah, I loved him when I was a kid, but he's old now, isn't he? Isn't he fucking retired? Like,
much like an NFL team that will go rather than pay.
So again, it's always Tone with the NFL. He's so smart because the NFL. So now you're comparing how WWE does shit to an NFL team. Tone does the opposite. But meanwhile, wouldn't that be the smart thing to do, is implement NFL type shit into his business? But Dave's negative about it. Like, he gives a fuck if Sheamus is there or not.
Guy, a giant salary, who's on the downside, we would rather spend our resources on somebody younger who also we can pay less to. So,
and turn into a mega superstar who will be with our company for the next 15 years, like Sheamus was. Like, we just paid him millions of dollars to fucking do for the last 13 to 15 to 17 fucking 19 years. I think he was with the company for 2 decades. And for over 10 of those years, we paid him fucking 7 figures or more. So we're going to do that with Javon now. Sorry, Sheamus, you're 50. Dave is like,
you what?
Dave is like, what? I can't even fathom. They do this like smart and cohesively and like a fucking major sports organization. But meanwhile, Tony Khan, the sports guy, sports, NFL soccer, and the sports-based wrestling, but he can't figure this out. He's paying fucking Moxley $3 million plus a year to tank his fucking ratings.
like the Sheamus, that offer to Sheamus, it really doesn't surprise me at all. He'd be a guy I would expect something like this to happen, and we'll see. He's an interesting one about.
And I saw people like, if I'm the Miz or any of these other people, I'm worried right now. I'm worried for them. Don't be. Miz is a millionaire, probably has in the tens of millions of dollars in his lifetime. He's had maybe, let's say, his net worth. I don't even want to Google it because it's not even worth it, because it's never accurate. But like, let's say his net worth even is like $10 million right now, give or take. Like, he's made tens of millions probably overall in his life. Or over 10 million, let's say. Like, don't feel bad for that guy. Have you seen his wife? He's got a beautiful family. Yeah, I wouldn't feel bad for that guy. He's done everything there is to fucking do in this business and more. Right? Like, yes, do I like Miz? Of course. Do I like Sheamus? Yeah, he fucking rules. Sheamus rules ass, dude. Would the Bar rule if they teamed up again in WWE? Yes, because that's their act there. To take that shit and then do it in like AEW with the Bumbleclot clan, that would be the worst decision you could ever make.
Will AEW take him? Because, you can make an argument both ways. The age is kind of a negative. The ex-WWE guy, those are hit and miss.
Those are hit and miss. Meanwhile, it's been Tone for 7 years using ex-WWE guys. And now finally they're like, oh, we need to cut costs a bit because this TV deal's rocky. And now Tone's going to have to foot the bill not only is he going to have to pay people out through my AEW, but he's going to have to foot the bill for a little while as they transition to maybe something else. And he has to find all the advertisers, and that takes resources and all of this shit. Right? And so now they're just like interested in homegrown guys. And so Chad Gable, they'd pay $1 billion to, and Kendall Gray would get 10x the money. And Javon Evans should go and make millions, way more money than he's making now. But Sheamus, all of a sudden, no, we can't take older ex-WWE guys who are just going to come in and take a bag and think they can come get a bag from Tone. So when 5 years ago, people like myself and Jim Cornette and Eric Bischoff and other people who were in the business and podcast pundits and characters in the IWC all got together and said, look, you got to stop just taking all the ex-WWE guys. It's just going to blow up in your face, and then you're going to find out you just want to focus on the homegrowns anyways. And what was everybody putting over about Omega, MJF? Oh, homegrowns. Yeah, so 3 years ago, these guys should have been homegrown, main eventing, drawing on their own, standing on their own 2 feet. But Tone fucked it all up. He just fucked himself. And he lost Punk, and Punk could have been a guy to facilitate that. And again, he's the anti-hero, anti-establishment. So he works as an AEW guy. He could have had AJ Lee come in for her short little stint and get over who's their top woman. I don't know. But it's still Monet, Jericho, Ricochet, Moxley. Got to find something for the Hurt Business to do. And now Sheamus, they're like, oh, fuck. And Dave was against the Hurt Business going there too, at least Lashley.
Are worth it, some aren't, you know.
An MVP.
Yeah, it's essentially the attitude. And you know,
some are worth it, some aren't. Well, who's not worth it? So why is Sheamus not worth it, but Lashley's worth it? You know what I'm saying? Both former WWE champions, both recognizable wrestlers who can still go. Both 50. And I get it. Dave's kind of against, but he's talking as though like some are worth it. Who's paid off for AEW? Maybe Moxley at the beginning. Moxley paid off and Jericho at the beginning. I'll give you guys that. Cody Rhodes, they try to claim him as their own. Like he wasn't built in WWE first. But clearly that's not the case because look how much bigger he is and how he's helped elevate WWE than he was in AEW, which he was trying to do there, but he fucking couldn't. So like some are better than others. Like who? Ricochet? You're paying him way too much. He doesn't draw what the fuck you're paying him.
With some people, I think that you know what their thing is.
So Dave is just telling Tone, don't hire this guy. Tone's not going to hire this guy, doesn't want to, unless it's a one-off at All In, which I think it'll end up being. I think it'll be a one-off at All In, and then maybe when Tone meets him and Sheamus schmoozes him and goes, fella, and then he gives him a hug, and then they'll drop the All Elite graphic. They'll keep Sheamus around for a little bit. That's my prediction of what happens because Sheamus is open to that. And you know that's what he was expecting to be able to do too. Now, Sheamus, I think, if him and Nick Nemeth did some shit in TNA, that could really help with ratings and pump them up. And Sheamus, just go by the name Shaughnessy. Don't go by Shaughnessy. Or do a Indy Hartwell and try and buy the name from WWE. Now, I know that'll be harder to do because Indy Hartwell was like main roster name, NXT name, but she wasn't like a name like Sheamus. Let's face it. Sheamus was... He, to this day, is like an instantly recognizable fucking wrestler. Like, people know who he is, right? Like, if you showed someone a picture of him, they would go, who is that? Like, they'd go, wait, I think I've seen that guy before. You know what I mean? They might not know his name. He should just go by Shaughnessy or try and buy Sheamus or work out a deal with WWE, but then they keep some of your money. So maybe don't do that, but don't like overcomplicate it and be like, oh, my name's Shaughnessy. I don't even know his real name, but don't overcomplicate things. And call yourself Shanus with an N, right? Then it's like anus, and we'll kick it in your Shanus. No,
others you don't, and he's kind of like one of those that I don't know. I don't have a good vibe on. Is he going to go in there and be the guy who, you know, like Rusev, where it's like all I did was job
shitting on Rusev
in WWE.
All I did, listen to Dave rewriting history and embellishing the fucking truth again. He's a lying liar who lied.
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
Rusev, a guy who came out and fought John Cena at WrestleMania, came out on a fucking tank. The guy who they had a fake army guy, he pulled down the U.S. flag, and then they had a fake military guy hit the ring that he beat the shit out of. He fucking won the United States title. Like, Dave is sitting here going, Rusev, who went, all I do is job in WWE. So I come to AEW and say I can't job to anybody. Meanwhile, we went over it on this show. They had him fighting like Chuck Taylor and shit like that. So Dave is trying to conflate Rusev, Miro's current run in WWE, where he jobs a bunch, to his previous run in WWE, where he didn't just job all the fucking time. And he should have been pushed as a world champion. That's what WWE fans wanted too. Hey, he could be a world champion. He should be beating Cena. Why is Super Cena beating Rusev at Mania when he comes out on a tank? WWE's fucking up. Tone. Book this guy and push him. He could be a world champ. He could have bangers with Kenny Omega, and then you get Kenny Omega more popular and over with the fucking the lapsed WWE fans who fucking know who Rusev is and know he's a monster, and then Kenny like thwarts this monster and you book him the right way or whatever the fuck. But Tone fumbled and squandered all of that because he's a dumbass. And Dave's now embellishing history, rewriting history. And that's why people go, well, he's a good historian and he wrote shit down. I just say this, he wrote shit down before the internet. I would love to go through it all from day one and see what was lies and what wasn't when you can look back with the information of the fucking internet. What was lies and what wasn't what was embellishments and little peppering in, omitting things, lying by omission. How many white lies are there throughout the 50 years of Dave's bullshit? I bet a whole fucking bunch. And when Eric Bischoff talks with Conrad, oh, come on now, Eric, that's not very fair. And they read Old Observer. I love that bit because Bischoff's always like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. What the fuck? This is a complete lie. And it's so funny because it's like that was before anyone was writing shit down. That was before the internet existed and everyone could just write down what happened. Dave was the only guy writing shit down. How many lies existed then? That's why this show exists. Dave's toxicity created this fucking show.
So I don't want to do your job anymore, and he wasn't the only one like that either. But you get that and then you become, difficult to book, so Tony will just stop booking you, or you go in there with the attitude that
I'm gonna go there and do jobs to catch. So Dave is saying, look, Tone will hire you, Sheamus, but you gotta lose to the Bucks, you gotta lose to Daniel Garcia, you gotta lose to Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin, and if you lose to them, it's all good. Even if there's no story, you'll just lose to them. Look at Ciampa. Look at how they're pushing Ciampa.
Hey, I'm in a new environment, and not only that, I'm in a new environment, but I can have way better matches because I'm going to work with better people.
With better people. I can have way better matches than I had in WWE because I'm going to work with better people than John Cena, Rey Mysterio, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Dom Mysterio. This is what Dave's saying.
The young superstar, babyface, the former heel thing. So
Sheamus was in WWE. His last match was with Rey Mysterio and John Cena on his team and shit. He's going to be able to work with better people than that.
Sheamus is out of.
Dave should be ashamed by that fucking take. So WCPW official tagged Meltzer, Bischoff, Conrad, and Mike PW Insider. And fucking Mike PWI blocked me. Mike Johnson did. Because a bunch of people on Twitter twisted his story out of whack. And so I fucking quote tweeted it. And I was like, damn, PWI fucking up today. They need to get their story straight. But I quote tweeted like the correction, I'm pretty sure, of the story. that other people misconstrued, and I was making a sarcastic joke going, man, they really need to get their shit together. They're fucking up. When really I was being a smartass towards, I believe, self-made / wrestle purists who fucked up the story. Then I believe they deleted it, and then they put out the corrected version. And I quote tweeted that and was like, man, PWI needs to get their shit together. Mike Johnson was like, maybe if you read the actual fucking story, blah, blah. Then he blocked me. And that's his prerogative, dude. That's why the block button's there. But it's like, well, now I can't read the fucking story, asshole. You know, like I was joking. You might not like my brand of fucking humor, but like all of these sheet guys take themselves way too fucking seriously. And so WCPW tags all these people. And I just say that to say both Meltzer and Mike Johnson blocked me. Conrad, I've fucking made fun of a bunch. He follows me. Right? And I fucking debated with him back and forth, and he fucking follows me. So there you go. That's why I have actual respect for Conrad. As much as people don't like him, he's not. He's a sales guy. He's not a fucking. He ain't a grifty McGrifter. Like he has the fucking memorabilia. He sells the memorabilia. He does the old Opie and Anthony ads of fucking everybody hates Steve.com and save 20% on some jewelry. Right? Like he's just an old Western salesman that you'd see in like a video game. The guy who runs the shop and he's in every town in the fucking video game. The big chubby fucking, oh, come on, Eric. Because he didn't have a fucking tan. Right? I like Conrad. He's funny. So, and he's a way better sport. But it's just funny that WCPW tags these guys when everybody says, I call Meltzer a liar. He retweets me to put me on blast. I prove he's a liar and name witnesses I'd call in a defamation lawsuit. He insults Bischoff and then blocks me. What a pussy. So there you go. He's blocked. And the reason I brought this to the show too, this WCPW will appear on a future PWT live show every Saturday and Wednesday, folks, because he got into it with, I think, like Zack Ryder's major figures, like grading, the way comic books get graded. I guess like Zack Ryder grades these dolls, but this guy called them out on some shit. So I don't know. He'll appear again in a future show. He or she, I don't know, runs this account. And then WCPW, I thought that was What Culture Pro Wrestling, was it not? But anyways, this is how this started here. So this person goes, the teller of lies for 4 decades using a term like fake history is beyond ironic. And then Meltzer goes, can you imagine anyone at this stage being stupid enough to think I lie? Bro, see this shit? Dave, who's a lying liar who lies, as we prove on this fucking show time and time again. He goes, can you imagine someone at this stage in my career thinking that I fucking lie?
The best guy is Tony Khan.
When all he does is lie. And then he calls you stupid. What would be the benefit? Well, Tone gives you private meetings, asshole. He's a billionaire. He probably lets you use his plane to get fucking home. And he leaks you information. That would be the benefit. And then also your wrestlers who you give 55 5-star matches to then get pushed. And then they go, and then people go, Meltzer's prolific. He knows the greatest wrestlers who ever lived, and time will tell Ospreay was the greatest. Because a billionaire gave him a bunch of money, but they couldn't draw. It would ruin a 40-plus year business. Dave, you are doing 75% off sales for a year straight. You already ruined the business. Your business is ruined. I know carnies will be carnies. But use some common sense and realize who those people are. And so WCPW goes, if you and I sued each other for defamation, I can prove you lied and win my case. You can't prove that I'm a carny to win your case. This is a simple Google search of list of proven Meltzer lies. Now listen to Meltzer's cope. So look, this is what fucking Grok says. Dave Meltzer is a pro wrestling journalist, blah, blah, blah. And wrestlers themselves he's been called out for publishing inaccurate reports ridiculous and false claims. So here's a compiled list of his main lies. Saudi Arabia hostage situation in 2019. Meltzer reported that several WWE superstars and crew members were held hostage by the Saudi government and prevented from leaving the country following the Crown Jewel event. WWE wrestler Seth Rollins publicly addressed the locker room to dismiss the claims, and Meltzer ultimately published a retraction. Rollins' locker room speech. So then Meltzer's retraction. So not only is Meltzer a liar, but his retraction on his lie involved a bunch of lies. Meltzer claims Seth gave a rah-rah speech to the WWE locker room following a controversial incident. Rollins explicitly denied this, and Meltzer was forced to walk back the report. Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss walkout in 21. Meltzer reported that 1,500 fans walked out of WWE Monday Night Raw during a segment between Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. Bliss countered the claim directly on social media, calling it an outright lie. And this is what I mean, dude. When me, a goddamn internet fucking mark, gets thanked by wrestlers on air and off air about how what I do is hilarious and he deserves this. There you go. Like, Dave, you claim you know everything there is to know in this business. Meanwhile, everyone thinks you're a fucking mark, dude, and that you hurt people's jobs like you were doing to Sheamus. Look at these lies. Asuka's absence. Meltzer, these are just recent. It's from 2019 on. Okay? Asuka's absence, 2021. Meltzer reported that WWE was intentionally refusing to use Asuka. It's all kind of grainy and shit, but use Asuka, blah, 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 suggesting she was being buried. It was revealed she had simply been off due to a legitimate undisclosed injury. Matt and Jeff Hardy's contract in 2017. Meltzer reported that the Hardy Boys had signed contracts to work for Ring of Honor. The very next night, the duo made a massive surprise return to WWE at 33 and won the Raw Tag Team Championship. So again, the Hardys wrestled the Bucks at ROH. Everybody knew who was like a smart. Again, Dave's like, it's the smart fans. We're the smartest fans at the Observer. No, because people knew their expedition of gold was going to result in them. Like, if you were following the Hardy shit. Now, I bid on it. It's one of the greatest returns, like something I watch once a year. I watch the Hardys returning at that Mania because New Day sold it so well and they were in their gear. And you're like, oh, maybe the Hardy or the New Day just joined this match. The Hardys come out and return. But the night before, they had a TLC match with the Bucks for the ROH tag titles, and they did drop those belts, right? But Dave reported that they signed long-term deals or whatever. Then they show up at WrestleMania. So he was worked. And then what did the Hardys get to do? I believe they got to drop some of those tag belts that they still had from the indies on some indie shows while being signed to WWE. But Dave just got worked, man. What else? Daniel Bryan's return speculation in 2018. Meltzer claimed that WWE only cleared Bryan to return to the ring under the strict condition that he be tested for concussions after every single match. Daniel Bryan publicly refuted the claim as false. And again, guys, we're not talking about Meltzer going backlashes in Tokyo and then fucking it's just an AI graphic, or Dave going, I have an internal WBD memo and it's just some mark on a Fightful Discord making shit up. And then Meltzer goes, you can't prove a lie. So we can't prove any of these as lies. So when Daniel Bryan goes, he was lying, we can't prove that you were fucking lying.
Learn,
dude.
baby, learn. Meltzer Inferno.
Fucking insane. Woody Cooter 30 gifted 5 pro wrestle clips memberships.
Justin, we have
huge
confirmed
support.
that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
Dave is so bad. Dave is the devil. Oh.
Fucking massive support. And shout out everybody who got gifted a membership. I appreciate that big time. Shout you out. Everybody shout out Woody. So again, man, Dave Meltzer, he just absolutely gets destroyed here and says you can't prove a lie. There are stories that get updated. So now he's infallible. He's nigh omnipotent. He's infallible. I think I might have said that twice. He's incapable of ever lying. He's perfect. And there can never be a lie. Even if somebody lied to him, so then he spreads the lie, which is still another form of lying. It's technically a lie. And I point out all the way Dave lies. He lies by omission. He lies by embellishment. He just outright lies, white lies. And also, if you get told a lie, then you spread a lie. You have to take accountability for that. You helped spread a lie. Okay? You were part of the lying. So he goes, there's stories that get updated. So when that guy tested this and fell to Dave years ago and DM'd him, emailed him fake shit about Dragon Gate and Rossi Ogawa or whatever the fuck, I can't remember what the story was. And then Dave reported it, or when a Mark puts a fucking fake thing in a Fightful Discord, and then he runs with it as if it's an internal memo. That's just an updated story, and you weren't worked and lied, unknowingly lied. You can unknowingly lie. If someone tells you a lie, then you spread that fucking lie. So that guy lying to you, then you reporting on it, that's not a lie. That's not you lying. Dave? Or is that still a fucking lie? When you lie about AEW, when you lie about WCW after all these years, that's not a lie. It's just updated stories and facts. So you can never lie, even if I walked up to you and told you I got a fucking third eye on the back of my fucking head, and then you go and report that, and then you find out I don't. That's not a goddamn lie either. It's just updated stories. That's some fucking bullshit, Dave. But using Mabel Guy as your source is exactly what I said. Yeah, man. Dave is just coping hard here. So he responded and then he just fucking blocked. Why? Because he got destroyed there and he knows it. Even he has to know it. And then just going, you can't prove a lie. Yeah, you can. This is how you do it when the wrestler refutes whatever the fuck you said and reported on. No, it just gets updated. So you can never lie then. Even if you're wrong 5 times, even if you tell a lie about Saudi Arabia and then you tell a lie about what Rollins said to the locker room, and then you have to retract both of those, write retractions to both. It's just stories that get updated. So it's not a lie and in bad faith if your sources are clearly inaccurate and working you, and you repeatedly get caught making shit up and running with it before verifying it. We just can't prove that lie because the story's updated. Okay. I guess that's how it works with Dave's mental gymnastics. And you're just a piece of shit, Dave. That's why I'll always make fun of you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week.
This just in, we have confirmed that Dave Meltzer fears PWT and flutes.
I love you all. I will see you for Sicko Saturday. Until next time, I bid you all adieu. Shout out, what was the name? Woody Cooter 30 for gifting the memberships, and anyone who super chatted in. Become a member. It's 99 cents. Patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. It's pinned in the chat for bonus episodes of Dave Meltzer Dumb Moment of the Week. I just dropped a Botchamania watch along on there as well. And yeah. Tons of stuff. Big announcement for PWT podcast coming soon as well. Appreciate you all. I've been Phil S. Marks. See you guys next time. Be good.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. You're overdue. I just felt it's something that makes you look good, and that's cool, and you know, I'm all for it, but I think you need to tone this down because now it's getting obtrusive to the show. that they can go in the afternoon for a U.S.
Hold
show,
on a second.
as they did there, and they
Dave?
can do 180,000 buys for an afternoon show, which they've also done for All In. So
Okay,
we
hold
know
on.
they can do. We know they can do big.
Can I
numbers for an
continue
afternoon.
this before you cut me off? We know one thing.
Yes.
We know it
No, I'm
might
not-
have done well because
I'm
it went
not-
on first.
I'm not saying it would.
Here's my thing, Dave.
But here's okay. Wait. Okay, here's the thing. Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I mean, it didn't mean anything to me. It was just a match.
That's the problem, Dave. It should mean something to you.
Give him a quick squash win just to show that, like, you know, he's not a loser.